Get started, please stand for a moment of silence for the pledge of allegiance.
Yep.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence in memory of Ray Pouliot. He was a lifelong public servant, most recently serving on our board of canvassers. Please keep his family and friends in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you. Also, before we get started, I'm going to make a motion to set aside a page in tonight's minutes in memory of Mr. Pouliot. He seconded it. Any discussion? All right, we'll go for our vote. Councilor Madnick?
Yes.
Palmigano?
Yes.
Reynolds?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Next, before we get into the budget workshop, can we have a motion to move G1 for consideration now on the agenda so we can get this new hire?
So
Yeah.
second.
All right, we'll go for our roll call vote. Councilor Madnick?
Yes.
Palmigano?
Yes.
Reynolds?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Aaron, do you have anything you want to share before you make a motion on the item?
Sure. So Lauren is here this evening. We had a great number of applicants for the deputy town clerk position. Kendra and I reviewed the candidates, and we do feel that based on her qualifications, her overwhelming responses on our reference checks, strong work ethic, dedicated, multitasker, which goes very much into the duties of the town clerk's office. We strongly recommend her hiring at it was the advertised rate for a 30-hour week as the deputy town clerk at a rate of 27 to start. And she is able to start next Monday in advance of our charitable referendum. So
Awesome.
it's very similar to my starting here. So
Awesome. Can we have an action on this item?
Yeah, motion to hire Warren Souza as deputy town clerk at a rate of $27 per hour for 30-hour benefited role in accordance with the town's personnel ordinance.
I'll second that. Any council discussion? We'll go for a vote. Councilor Madnick?
Yes.
Palmigano?
Yes.
Reynolds?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Thank you so much. Welcome to the party.
Welcome.
this is a night you can excuse yourself early because some nights you won't get out so early. So
Take advantage while you
of the
can.
nice weather.
All right, on to our budget workshop. I know our town administrator and finance director put a lot of, and our department heads have all put a lot of effort into this. I'm going to turn it over to Erin to give us a presentation.
Great. Kendra, if you could share the PowerPoint.
Do you mind going down a little?
No. Slide them over there.
Be after that.
Yeah, you can slide, no, slide over.
Okay.
It's not plenty of room.
Next slide.
Okay.
So I want to start out and thank Finance Director Andrews for the new work on the budget look and the worksheets. I think everybody will find that it is so much more user-friendly, readable, transparent, and she worked very hard on providing that new format for us because we want to increase our transparency and the ability to defend our figures that sometimes is complicated. So thank you, Danielle, so much for your work on it. I would also like to thank all the departments here today who have submitted budgets, allocations that were very fiscally responsible. They held the line on operating costs, and many did not increase the proposed cuts from last year. So they've maintained the fiscal responsibility needed certainly in this budget year. I would also like to thank the finance board. I'm not sure if the members are here today for their work. We had several hours of conversations over 2 evenings reviewing the budget before you're receiving it today. And they've provided recommendations that were attached to this budget agenda. Next slide, please. So this year we are receiving, it's a trifecta. We have some major impacts on our budget this year. We have an increase of the Charter Hall School District. We are in a statistical reevaluation where housing market prices are extremely large, and those impacts are known, and we want to, it's a very difficult process in this budget knowing those things. We've also had the benefit in residence for the last 3 years of not receiving a tax increase unless you did a expansion, a pool, a shed. For the last 3 years, councils have been able to absorb the increases without passing on that burden to the taxpayers. And so this trifecta, makes this year extremely difficult based on some of the figures we're seeing today. Next slide. So our budget is breakdown, from the municipality standpoint, education into the different categories: public safety, public works, town hall, general government operations, community services, and other, which I'm going to start calling capital improvement plan, our workers' compensation insurance, our personal liability insurance, street lighting, but the main point of that is capital improvement plan. So I will try to reference that throughout this presentation and throughout this evening. And you can see where those impacts are hitting in the different proportions proposed. Next slide. This year, as explained, is our Charahoe regional budget that does not have, the town council or town government does not in this realm have control over it, and the town of Richmond is seeing those allocations, but those will be determined for the voters on April 7th. That education portion for this evening's purposes have already been determined from the school committee, and will be determined by the voters on April 7th. However, it is a cost driver in our budget this year. Next slide. For tonight's purposes, and it's the council's first budget workshop, is looking at our municipal portion and the breakouts and those impacts. And so we do have all town departments here to answer questions on those increases throughout our municipality, but some of these are controlled and fixed rates that we can't really reduce much further, and some we could have some movement with. Next slide. So our largest cost drivers will be our retirement contributions. The state retirement board sets those. We do not have control over those. I believe last year the police saw a larger increase, and this year it's the municipal portion that is part of our benefited employees that have a retirement plan. Our contractual salary increases are included. Those are, non-negotiables, as they're already negotiated with our police department, my position, the police chief, as well as the building official that we share with Huntington. All other municipal staff have been adjusted to the 3%, which maintains the same as our unions. It also maintains the same increase that was provided for in the school district. And so we raised our rates last year, and we are already seeing the benefits of those. We have retention, we have more people applying for our positions. And that's why that suggested 3% remains in this proposed budget here today. Next slide. We made some major changes in the last fiscal year. We restructured finance, and so for purposes of reviewing the budget, tax collections, tax assessor should all be reviewed in totality with the finance department. You're going to see an overall reduction there with a reduction of staff. In this budget has a promotion of a public works laborer position to a supervisor, as well as an additional weekend employee to improve our operations at the transfer station. The additional police officer that was initially proposed in this budget was removed during the finance board review process. There is a reduction in police dispatch overtime due to the fourth dispatcher that was added full-time during last year. There is some potential to reduce more if the 4-day work week model is adopted, and we'll discuss that later. And new to this budget, which is not really new because it was added last year, is a grant writer manager position, which was offset by ARPA funds. So those who've been following along, the finance board saw a higher rate than the ARPA funds offset based on our last council. Next slide. We have several revenue line items trending. I think everybody does in this current economic climate. We do have reduced building activity. Our housing market trends, those things, we have a limited housing market, so recordings and those trends are trending a little bit down. Our federal funding sources, including COPS grants and ARPA, are no longer available to offset our operating expenses. Currently, we have state aid figures based on this current governor's proposed budget, but we do know that those adjustments will need to be made as we have final numbers. So we are in a tax reevaluation. And every household, depending on the area, sees a different, I don't know if you can get a little bigger, Kendra. And so what we did was we took kind of a variety of houses of a broad range across our area to show the potential impact of what we had last year at our current evaluation with our current 1467 to right now 1312 is built into this budget right now today, and those impacts. And you can see that they're greatly impacted in certain areas, in the majority of areas of town, some stronger than ever, but we can't control that because it's based on housing sales and market trends. But it's something to be aware of as we go through this process, because this budget is going to hit different people in Richmond very differently. I mean, we're seeing some houses seeing $2,300 increase and some reducing by $65. And it's really based on area and sales. And so that's something to keep in mind. Above tax rate is because this reevaluation is something that, you know, it's an uncontrollable, unfortunately, as part of this process. But the figure we put in does control that. Next slide. We have a lot of unknowns at this stage. We do this every year. Our budget approval process by charter and ordinance does not certainly always align with the state and their review process. We have built in health and dental figures for 8%. We'll hopefully have those final numbers by the next time we meet. Our liability insurance numbers are not final. We do anticipate that to be an increase based on all the claims we've had of the last 2 years. So those we kind of did plug into this budget based on the best knowledge we had at the time. Again, state aid figures are not final at this time. And then our Hopkinton's contribution on the transfer station is also something that we should finalize sooner than later. So those are kind of some of the unknowns. Our community services budget, meaning all of the nonprofits, boards, senior and recreation, have a very small increase over the totality of this budget. The finance board did review those allocations in great detail and made recommendations to go to the previous year's rate, with the exception of the Hope Valley Ambulance and Clark Memorial Library. And then they fully financed the community allocations that had not received any funding in the previous fiscal year that we had done, I guess, a few years ago, but they got in late last time. So those are kind of the changes there. Next one, capital programs, or the big part of other. And what's a really hot button is roads. I think that if we were in a different fiscal climate, I would have doubled that number. 300,000 is what we had last year, and we know we need that match for road restore. That is part of the governor's budget. That does not plan to go away. They're actually increasing it, and so that's why we have the ability to do. We're going to do Willow Hill area. We're looking at Old Mountain Road, Pine Hill. We were able to do the Pinecrest neighborhood. So it's really important as we review this that those funds stay in this budget, because we do believe that road restore will be stabilized in the governor's budget, and we want to ensure we have a match. And that match makes the difference of being able to do, you know, maybe a partial road or a partial neighborhood to a full neighborhood. And that's what we're seeing in road restore for the last 2 years. Our police vehicle replacement schedule is part of the capital program. I believe it's $1.25 cars per year.
The cost of cars and equipment have gone up. So what used to be $1.5 cars at 60,000 is now, do we increase it to 70? It's about 60 for a car to be upfitted.
Yeah, so it's a little less than a car and a half. Our public works equipment, some of the main items obviously is a street sweeper, an asphalt hot box, which, you know, this year, if we had that, I think our pothole situation would be a better situation. And those are the types of purchases we utilize in our capital improvement program, which is fully detailed. We can get into later, but those are some, you know, highlights in that. So news of the day is our initial tax levy proposed. We were obviously with our reevaluations and tax assessments, we knew that we were going to hit with the trifecta, that we were not going to be able to hold the line on increasing taxes. And unfortunately, originally our figures showed that we were not going to go above the tax cap. And I will say that it's probably a two-factor approach. We had a wrong figure coming in. We had Department of Revenue had received our information over close to a month ago. New member been on vacation. And as we were working with the Department of Revenue to look at our tax assessments, because we are in a reevaluation year, we were saying those weren't jiving. So we had further conversations today. We had someone higher up look at it, and unfortunately, initially the wrong number starting out was plugged in. And so right now, originally we had proposed a 13-12 tax rate, and we weren't, you know, initially seeing. We've updated those figures. They are attached to clerk base. Those have been corrected. But we need a figure, next slide, closer to 1244 for tax rate for our tax stabilization over tax bills. But we now need a figure close to, Danielle, correct me if I'm wrong, 674, about 600,000 in reductions for us to not go above the tax cap. And so for those that don't understand that, 4% is our cut, and that does include the school allocation. And so we're at the point where, you know, Charahoe School Committee is done with their work. It goes to the voters if no other changes are made. If we don't come up with those kind of allocations here tonight, a request would need to be made. And so that's going to further hit our residents. So that is, it's not really fun presenting a budget for the first time with that news, I'll be honest. So, you know, I'm glad we have that tonight. Tonight's our first workshop, so we'll have to get to work on what those cuts look like. But knowing, you know, I want to tell my staff that they've come in with a reduced, you know, all their line items they held. You know, we've taken, we always work with more. We're a small department, we're a small community, and you know, to absorb some of these increases is a lot out of our control. And so I hope as we review that some of the other agenda items that we look at is all taken into account this evening, because that type, you know, of increase can't completely be absorbed on the town end. Mm-hmm. And you know, 3 years is a long time running for tax increases. However, of no tax increase. However, in this current economic climate and these tax assessments, some of these hits are going to be large to our community. So next steps is, this is our first appearance tonight, and I'm hoping we will go through the budget similarly to how we did last year. We have department staff here to answer any questions. There's 2 public hearings on our budget per charter. One is next meeting at April 13th, and then again May 5th. But it's important that everybody understand our budget and our ballot question must be adopted no later than May 19th to get our ballots ready for the June 2nd referendum.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the time you put into this, Danielle as well, our department heads, our finance board, amazing work. I really appreciate the improvements that Erin and Danielle have put forth this time to make it a little bit easier to read. And I really appreciate your transparency and honesty with the mistake that came up today, or whatever we're gonna call it. Sorry if that's the wrong word. Because that just helps everybody understand why changes are made and it helps us just absorb and move forward. So thank you so much for doing that. That's brave. So council, do we want to open this up to questions? Do we want to go through how we did last year, page by page? That was more of a first year thing, maybe? Sure, go ahead, Mark.
Can I just ask, and
Yeah.
maybe this, you just answered it, but I just want to make it clear. The reason for this last minute change is as simple as we plugged in the wrong numbers for last year and this year, because it looks like they
No,
both.
it was just this, it was actually for the 1225.
So what we had listed for last year's tax levy was too high.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I have a follow-on question.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just trying to do the math in my head here, right? So bear with me. So we got like $900,000 increase from the school. We've got a proposed $700,000 increase from the town. We've got minus $300,000 from state aid. So we're at roughly about $2 million net change to the budget, right? So if our budget last year was 30 million all in with the school and the town, 2 million increase divided by 30 million, 6.67. So why would we be raising taxes by 10% when the baseline is 6.67?
It's not the school increase is 1.5. The school is now.
905.
It's, yeah,
Ours is
1.2.
closer to
Well, on
6 than
budget,
it is
it's
7.
1.5 because of the difference in the state aid from last year. What they moved
okay.
the state aid, so it's the numbers.
Yeah. So I was the 905, it was 950. And I had subtract, okay, it's 1.2 plus
That's actual.
700.
Yeah,
Okay, so even so, it's still, second page on the budget's 1.5 million. 1.5 million divided by 30, not 10%, 5%, 5.13.
5.1.
So where's my math not wrong? Not right. Trying to understand how we're getting up to 9.7%
For
taxes.
in the tax rate.
Yeah. That's what I didn't understand today when I first got this.
When you say second page, you mean the second page that we're,
The levy page.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So
I'm just making sure. Thank you.
I'm looking at if you go on Clerkspace, the second page in the budget has the kind of, I don't know if they're old or new numbers, but it basically goes through fiscal year 25, 26, 26, 27, and the variance, and that is, one moment, that's this page here.
Okay.
And then when we scroll all the way down for people that are on Clerkspace, to the second to last page where we have the percent of property tax, we're at 9.71%. So for me, I'm trying to understand the disconnect between the 5.13% increase and then having to almost double our tax levy.
It's based on the levy. I can't change the levy amounts. But so I mean, it's whatever that is. It's what we need for the tax rate. And
Yeah.
the tax levy is only based on your taxes, but we added $1 million in surplus. So now we brought it down. Because we are using $1 million in surplus. Unassigned. So the taxes themselves are only going up so much, but we used more for the surplus to bring them down. And that's an overall amount.
Okay, I'm gonna noodle on that for a while.
Okay.
And not hold things up, and then maybe we can talk offline.
Yeah, just one, just reflection that this question comes up. Obviously, we have a lot of open ends, loose ends, contingencies on this. This activity, of course, is very important that we go through, but we're going to be here tonight. We're going to go through based on what we know today. And all of us are taking a scalpel to some things, right? Possibly. But we don't have all the information yet. Obviously, the 7th is going to be a big day to understand what our contribution to the school is. That's important. In the future, does it make sense to have this type of workshop first after that vote happens so that we understand? We still have time.
We unfortunately can't because I'm required by charter to present to you, and today is the last day to do that. So,
The end of March.
3/31, the town administrator, and by February. So yes, our timeline is advanced in the overall process,
Yeah.
considering the school budget portion of that.
But you're required to present to us today, not necessarily the workshop by the charter.
Yes, but then there's some certain decisions that staff will need to know
Mhm.
if you guys are leaning in a certain way on the impact, because we know when we cut out of capital and when we cut out of operating, those have different impacts on the overall budget. So, we're gonna know a lot, obviously, next Tuesday.
Mhm.
And certainly some of these conversations would be easier to knowing those outcomes. We also, don't have our final insurance years. And so, 8% was probably conservative in what the trends are. And I think some would say, oh, we're seeing 10 or, but that also that number and those retirement numbers is also based on full-time staffing. So some of the discussions we can have that we should have, but yes, there's a lot of unknowns for this process.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, what else do we have?
Well,
Yeah.
I do think we should go through line by line,
Mhm.
or department by department. Please. But I think it might be helpful to have some overall thoughts. And I'll be the skunk at the garden party and say this, in order to make the kind of reductions that you're talking about, you can't be talking about reducing supplies and reducing this. It's gonna have to come off compensation. It pains me to say it, but that's where it's gonna have to come from. And, because health insurance is a major driver. I don't know if that was in your slide presentation,
It is.
but I noticed it on the thing. So health insurance is a major driver. Retirement is a major driver. Both, and retirement is based upon income. So you reduce income, you're going to reduce your retirement. So I think there are a couple of things we need to look at, kind of in the compensation realm is, and this is more a question, what kind of health insurance are we providing? And what's the current co-share that the employees are paying?
15%.
They pay 15.
The municipal people pay 15%.
And what kind of plan is it?
It's Blue Cross.
What's the deductible?
Help me.
Anybody know what the deductible is?
No.
I can get my health insurance card for my car.
No, it's okay. If you don't know what it is, it's probably pretty low. I know what mine is.
We're actually in with Hopkinton and Charleston.
That's-
We're
yeah.
already grouped with them.
When does that renew?
It should renew, it's renewing soon. I don't know if it's July 1st or if they do like a June 1st.
So one of the things that we can look at is, do you increase the co-share on the health insurance? The other thing you can look at is reducing compensation increases. In my mind, once you make a change to the co-share, it's not going to go back. So it's a more permanent change. Reducing pay increases in 1 year doesn't mean they're not going to, you can't make up for it in another. So at least in my mind, in choosing between those two, and again, I don't know what the fiscal impact is going to be part of it too, but in my mind, I think it's preferable to reduce that 3% number than change the co-share on the health insurance. Because you would, by doing that, by reducing the increase, you're going to reduce your retirement, you're going to reduce all of your you're going to reduce all of those payroll taxes that you pay. So it's going to have a more significant impact. So, I think it would be helpful to have an understanding of a couple of different scenarios. What if we move the increase to 1.5% instead of 3%? Another option is, huh?
I have 1%, 2%.
All right, so,
Oh,
all right, so that's fine. No, that's fine.
You came
So-
prepared.
Yeah, I'm glad. So let's go with that, because another thought I had is obviously the full-time staff are the ones with the health insurance increases. And so the value of their compensation is increasing because the value of their health plan is increasing. And I would be inclined to say those folks get a, let's say 1%, just for the sake of this discussion, increase. The part-time staff who aren't getting health benefits maybe get 2%. Now, I know you're not prepared to
Nope, not
to
for that
hash
one.
those out, but just since you've done the math, Daniel, what would be if we move the increase to 1% and 2% instead of 3%, what would the impact be?
Or the difference between the wages. So if you did 2% instead of a 1%, it's $60,000 more. If you do 3% instead of 2%, it's 15,876. If you do 3% instead of 1%, it's 75,900.
We need 3%. So
3% raises.
so what if we did
instead of 1% raise?
what if we did a 1% raise? What would
If you
the
did a
savings
1% raise, it's an increase of 32,338
be? An increase?
just for municipal people.
What do you mean an increase? It should be a reduction.
No, for one over this
Overall,
year.
the budget.
It's over this year. Yeah, it wouldn't be, I'm saying from the one that we're in, if you increase it
Oh, it's
1%, if
right.
you do the
It's
people
gonna,
1%.
so
it would
what
be
would it save us
32,238.
off the numbers we have here? I guess is my question,
So 3%.
not what the difference would
Right.
be. What's it gonna save us from what we've got proposed?
I know how that you.
And if you don't have it, that's fine, but I think those are numbers that we should run.
Mhm.
What savings will we get from these figures with those changes, just so we have an idea.
Yeah, if we're looking to have a goal to reduce, we should know what the reduction is. I appreciate that way of looking at it. I have a follow-up question about your health insurance. What was that?
8,000.
Which is
There
that
was
one?
none. If there was no reduction from what we are this year. If there was no reduction, it would be 108,000.
Is a 3%
Yes.
added to this budget.
So $76,000 is the difference
76,000.
between 1% and 3%.
Yes. So if you do 1% instead of the 3%.
We'd save how much?
76.
Help me.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should have made that more clear.
So 1% saves us 76,000, and is that just on the wage line, or did you calculate everything
No,
else?
that's actually wages, retirement, FICA, and health and dental.
Okay. It's less than I thought it would be, quite frankly.
I have a follow-up. Danielle, you said that we're grouped with Hopkinton and Charlestown. Does that mean that like, if we make changes to our health insurance, are we in a group rate where we get a better rate because we're all in it
Yeah.
together?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be something that maybe this Tri-Town Council would discuss, not really us individually.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not sure what we could do on our own.
Right,
We could change the co-share, that's an individual piece. Blue Cross doesn't
Yeah.
care about that.
okay,
So if we change the co-share, we're at 15% now. If we do 20% instead of 15%, then it is $10,182 more, less on our bill. So we would be putting in 10,000 more, so it would reduce the bill.
Right, how much,
That's how we-
about,
10,182.
I think the key to that, though, to point out is wages are take-home post-tax.
Yes.
Healthcare is pre-tax.
It
So
is pre-tax. yes.
even though there's an increase in the co-share by the employee, they're actually having some savings in their take-home.
Yes. Yep.
So a 5% increase in, when's the last time employee co-share has increased?
It's been several years, I think. I don't.
I
I've
want
only
to say,
been
I
here
think
two,
it was
so-
3 years ago.
Okay, so
Yeah.
in outside of this municipality, every person that I know has had to increase the amount that they're putting into their premiums in their healthcare. I don't think the town is immune to that. At Electric Boat and Brown, they both went up 10%. And pretty significant for a lot of people. I don't think it's too much to ask to go from 15 to 20, given the economic climate, and understand that it is pre-tax, so it's not, you know, a full loss. I think that's something that we really need to seriously consider, because everyone has been faced with that. That's just across the board in the entire United States. Health insurance has gone up.
Okay. Any other like overarching questions before we kind of just go department by department?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's on the agenda, but I'm gonna start with the big one. So transfer station has obviously been a source of contention for about a year now. Understanding where we are from an operating revenue standpoint, it's hard to tell because it's backwards looking. You don't know where you are until the fiscal year ends. So, you know, people who complain that, you know, we overspent on the transfer station, they don't know what they're talking about. So I'm just gonna say that to start off. But just looking at our budget now, what I noticed is we've got essentially $151,000 variance. So transfer station revenue is estimated to be 300K, but operations is 451,776. I can point out those line items if you want, or you can just trust me right now that we have $151,000 variance. So I know on the agenda we're discussing Hopkinton's share. I'm coming in hot. I'm going to be clear. Hopkinton pays 50%. If they don't pay 50%, they're out. I don't think that Richmond residents need to subsidize Hopkinton residents anymore. I think we should be done with that. I understand the transfer station is a service, but I think since we are sharing it with another town, that they should be paying 50% of the operating cost. That's it. That's where I stand with that. We can debate it, but I think that's fair. I think they need to pay their fair share, or they can get kicked out and then go build their own transfer station. That's a big expense for this town.
I have a question. I'll leave
Go
you
ahead.
first.
No, you,
They pay tipping fees when they come as well. So where's your 50% based off of? Including when people come and pay the tipping
It's
fees?
operating cost minus revenue.
Okay,
So we're $151,000 in the hole on this budget that we're faced with right now. So we can increase the tipping fees for everyone,
Mhm.
or we can increase the share that Hopkinton is paying to operate the transfer station. And right now they're paying 75K. We're asking them to pay 100K. I think we need to go way higher. They're getting a sweetheart deal. Richmond is subsidizing them, and it's unfair to Richmond residents, especially given the situation we're faced with the budget. Meanwhile, they're projected to get $1 million more from the state, and we're losing 300K. I know that shouldn't play into it, but it kind of does.
go ahead.
just respond to that. I'm fine with talking about increasing Hopkinton. I have no problem with that. And my question was gonna be, so let me ask that, then I can make my. What's the percentage of, as far as users, Hopkinton versus?
We believe, based on the current numbers, we're at like 51%, Hopkinton's 49%.
So it is close to a 50-50 split by user. Okay.
But so some real talking points to add to this is we increased our tipping fees a few months ago. We haven't seen, we haven't had enough time
Right.
to see what that is, number one. Number two, something that's really important is, yeah, the residents are paying tipping fees to dispose of trash that we charge. Recyclables are free.
Mhm.
And, you know, we've had a few rejected loads lately, and we're not going to recoup that from Hopkinton because we charge for, you know, there's going to be somewhat of a deficit because we aren't recouping recyclables being transported to Johnston. So we pay $279 every time we do 79, right, Gary?
Yeah.
A load every time we go. So we don't want to start charging for recyclables because that defeats the point, because then we pay more in a cap. But you know, we did go to a more conservative approach. We have in the capital plan some building improvements we need so we can get some more data. We the whole reason why we want to promote a labor to oversight is to have somebody there so we can start creating actual data that we have, improve systems, secure dry place, you know, move the building so people are not backing up. We need an extra person. We've seen, you know, we've closed a day. I fully think that that's gonna work out, but that means more people are coming on the weekend, and so we need more oversight to make sure trash isn't happening and being dumped in the recyclables or dumped in anywhere else. So in fairness, we haven't had a great way of tracking where we're losing some of these items, but we do know it's happening
Mhm.
in hauling, and we increased our rates. So I do believe Hopkinton is getting a great deal because we're carrying the personnel, we're carrying the insurance, we're paying all of that. So, but in fairness, some of the data we have isn't prime yet right now.
So since we're on the topic of, I guess, 1B for your letter to them, would you make change, like, what would that 50% number look like in this context? And what would we change that to asking for?
So currently they're paying 75,000. That was negotiated in 2022.
Mhm.
We utilized some of that to add a part-time personnel to the transfer station, not anywhere near. We do know we need another person on weekends to start because unfortunately, you know, when it's free, people dump it in and then we get rejected $250 loads. So we need major improvements. And so we've looked at buying a shed to contain. Sometimes people call it the land of the sheds. We do know that the equipment to go in and get to data there is 2,500. You know, I think maybe increasing that to 50,000 this year to see how those tipping fees, you know, regulate out.
Increasing what, the 50,000, the 25 to
Yeah.
50? Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Mark.
I just want to make, so the point I was going to make is about the transfer stations. In my mind, the transfer station does not need to sustain itself on fees. We don't provide trash collection to our residents. Tax dollars should partially support the transfer station because it's a service that we provide to our residents. So I don't have a problem with it being, you know, our fees are X, but our expenses are higher because that delta is being supported by people's tax dollars and it's a service that we provide to our residents. So I don't think the goal should be to have fees equal expenses. I think there should be a delta there because, you know, again, people are paying taxes and they should get something for it. So, you know, I'm fine, but I'm certainly fine with, you know, again, the non-residents who are using the transfer station need to pay their fair share. And I have no problem with increasing it, but I just want to make clear that, you know, we keep talking about it's a deficit. In my mind, it's not, there's a difference. It's not necessarily a deficit because the expectation should not be that they're going to be equal. Because people are paying taxes to support services, and that's one of them.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Maybe we should throw our first motion. Oh, you can go ahead first.
Yeah, no, I mean, Mark's statement just made me think, I'm just curious, do we know what is the percentage of Richmond residents that actually utilize the transfer station? I think we've said it before. Is it a percentage?
I think we had 1,100 the last time of stickers sold
1,100 household stickers.
passes
Yeah,
of households. So
Household.
that's a hard,
okay.
But it's tough to tell because some people may have stickers and not use it,
and
me
it's,
being one of them.
and it's so
Yeah.
long, right? So if you're a Richmond resident, you didn't need to renew.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, just curious. Thank you.
So I was just gonna suggest, since we're on the transfer station topic, do we want to put a motion on the floor to edit this letter to be 50 instead of 25? Okay.
I'll make a,
Oh, yeah,
Dan might.
yeah.
He's concentrating.
He's thinking about his motion.
Do you want to go ahead? You got.
Sure, I'm gonna make a motion to modify the letter to Hopkinton requesting an increase from 75,000 to 100,000, except I want to increase from 75,000 to 150,000.
All right, I'll second it. Any further discussion on this item?
So that's more than what we were just talking.
It splits the difference in the operating costs and the expected revenue with Hopkinton. So 151,000, 75K based on Aaron's comments, knowing that we increased the fees, that we might recover some. So I think this is reasonable.
All right, any further council discussion? We'll go for a vote. Counselor Madnick,
Yes.
O'Shannell,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
and myself, yes. All right, anything else on the transfer station before we move it along? We'll go back to the budget, I suppose,
Yeah, let's.
or do you want to hit the staffing, Aaron, because that's kind of over. That's like an overview. Do you want to hit 1A before we move on to our line items?
Sure, so, some of the discussions, I think that should weigh in, and don't take this wrong, so maybe I'm a little, I'm defending staff, right? We are, we're an $8 million budget, and now we're, some of these hits are gonna hit all of us a lot different, and so, morale wise, it's really difficult. That we're sitting here today and the proposed budget, from down the street went as is, and does not have some of these significant impacts. So as we weigh those decisions on raises, building hours obviously accounts for that, healthcare. But as we're increasing healthcare costs and talking about 1% to 2%, 3% raises in this grand scheme of things, and insurance, that hits a small town departments, our staff who wear a lot of hats. So, the 4-day work week has been discussed at length. We resurveyed all of the staff, including our part-timers. And I think there could, we're certainly going to have some operational reductions, energy efficiencies. We're not running printers, computers, AC, heat. It will go lights. It will go down to the weekend operations. And I do feel that we'll see those savings there. And there is the ability, based on, certain review of department operations, to have some further reductions from part-time to, from full-time to part-time, as hard as those decisions are made. But I think we should look at those totality numbers before we start settling on insurance comparisons, and potential reductions, because we've been able to retain, right? Like last year,
Yeah.
this council worked so hard to bring rates up, and I don't want it to be, we don't want to go backwards. At the same
Right.
time, we understand fiscal constraint, and that's why every department proposed those. But I think the 4-day work week's going to have an impact, and so we kind of need to know what council's working on, so those further suggestions can be made on where reductions can be made.
Did you have something to add, Mark?
I was gonna say, do you have, if we went to a 4-day week, do you have a sense of what the savings would be?
It's hard.
I know the building
building
savings are hard, but I mean, as far as any.
Staffing, I definitely would say in the town clerk's office, we could reduce the assistant clerk position from part-time to full-time, and that would be that's obviously a benefit, because our part-timers also get no vacation, obviously no benefited position, and so I think that would be a savings right there, and we could, that would healthcare, retirement, that would come off the bat, and we could propose what that would be the next time. We restructured finance. We already reduced a position in this. We did not replace that position, so at this time I don't have any suggestions for our finance department. Building and zoning and planning, we share a part-time building official that with Hopkinton, that's contractual. We can't change that. That's 2 days a week. Our zoning official is part-time, but also is our plumbing official. We changed our hours for how many days we operate. And if we're making tough decisions, there could be certain positions that may go part-time. And I think we would have to have a really hard look at that, but that could be something that changed. Public Works, Gary and I have had a long conversation on that. This last winter, we operated 2 CDL drivers down. We brought in a seasonal employee. We brought in a custodian at a lower rate than our laborer. That is something that's still in this budget. It's working. It's actually a savings. But Gary and I believe we could cut a CDL position, and that would be some significant savings, and then do what we did this season and hire a seasonal vendor who is in a non-benefited position, no retirement, so that could save some substantial costs. I think Danielle, we definitely have to rerun these numbers, but we would kind of need some direction that way to see what those cuts would be. But those are some cuts that would be, while they are difficult
Mhm.
and they're cutting positions. And I think we're at that point and we don't have some choices here because we're not going to move the needle.
Yeah.
Like we're not moving it in office supplies. And obviously the grant writer,
Yeah.
pick it out, it's going to have to, as much as it's really, disappointing, it's going to have to come out, but I think those would probably be my recommendations should we have to make those difficult decisions after next week.
I think we also need to consider part-time building planning and zoning clerk, just based on all the numbers that you provided us in your recent memo. Building permits are down. We've already reduced the clerk from having to attend planning and zoning board meetings. And going to a 4-day work week, I don't see, based on the information you've provided us, that we need a full-time position there, which is fully benefit. There's some additional savings there. I would think that if things start to change in Richmond, we start to see more development, we start to see more permits, we can revisit that. That's something we've been talking about for a few months anyway, just based on how 2025 went. And I think given the constraints we have with this budget, we have to look at potentially dropping that position from full-time to part-time. And I think we have enough data to support that. I mean, I'm not a huge proponent of reducing staff positions, but we're struggling here.
Yeah.
It's gonna be difficult.
Councilor Ramachan, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I think, again, just to restate, Aaron, you said it's a trifecta of issues that are coming at us. This council worked really hard to get the salaries to where they need to be. None of us sit here and enjoy the fact of the conversation about reducing that. But we are in an unprecedented challenge of trying to figure out how we, as all of us who are residents of Richmond and taxpayers, how we do not put this burden that is unsustainable on the residents of the town. You are a resident yourself, you know that just as well. So, none of us sit here with this thinking, oh yeah, let's just cut that. It's thoughtful conversation about how we can manage this in this very difficult situation. We will be in a different situation next year. We know that. We will be in a better situation with the factors that are changing, and hopefully we'll be able to take another look next year and make amends for some of these challenges we're facing now. But we all have to work together and look at that.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was maybe one of the first meetings I had on council, we increased the building clerk from part-time to full-time going way back. So these changes, as Councilor Comachano said, when we're in a better situation, you can bring them back. And it's there was another position too, you said assistant clerk.
And within the town clerk's office.
With the municipal court not set up yet. And I know I ask you about that every once in a while, and I know the clerk's office has been short-staffed since Karen Pinch left and you moved up. And how do you see that going? Because that would be worrisome to me.
Then we restructured for quite some time now, and the new deputy that we hired this evening, their primary role, which would be municipal court. And so based on, looking at probate numbers is trending down, it will give some time. We're in an election year. We have, Allison's amazing. And so, that position now we have trained staff will stay. And unfortunately, some land evidence, it's funny when you look at, actual amounts of recording, it's remaining stable, but the efficiencies now are people are recording remotely. Our board of commissions, we might have to take a look at saying, hey, our volunteer boards might have to post again on their own.
Right.
But I don't see bringing on Lauren now. I don't believe municipal court would have an impact, and maybe next year looks a lot different because we'll have some revenues. I don't know, but I do believe that's one area we could probably cut based on the improved efficiencies and the numbers of the department and the clerk's office.
Okay. Do you have something you want to add?
I was going to say, we kind of we just talked about planning, building planning and zoning. We're kind of going through the departments, so.
We kind of are.
I think we should keep,
Yeah.
let's keep going. So I'm gonna just suggest this. Because I think we need to kind of tell us what this is, what will, come back next time. Or, with a memo in between about the impact of some of these things. So I would ask, and I don't know if you want a motion for this or not, but that we get a figure for making the building zoning and planning clerk part-time. That we get the impact number for making one of the assistant clerks part-time in the town clerk's office. And I think that covers those two departments unless someone had other questions about those
I
two.
do have the town planner who'd like to speak up.
The removal of the CDL position with this.
Oh,
Well, let's
yeah.
wait till we get to public works.
Oh, okay.
I'm just-
We can all do it in one
we
swoop
can- we
too.
kind
I
of-
just want to do the department.
I just think we'll go with by department. We may as well we can cover those.
I was
as
going
we go.
because item 1A on the agenda is consideration of hours and staffing, so that's why I.
Yeah, no, I
Okay,
agree,
just
I
making sure.
agree. We get a
Alright.
general sense of the 4-day work week
Yeah.
and that, but let's just go through the departments.
Okay.
and-
Sure, go ahead, Talia.
Talia, talk about.
Yeah. To the
Technically,
point.
technically Susan is a building and zoning clerk. I do not have like a definitive clerk. I can ask her to assist me with things, but I think the correct title in the motion would be building and zoning clerk.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for that correction. Is that a motion yet?
If you want a motion, that's a motion
Or-
to reduce the building and zoning clerk to obtain information on what the budget impact would be of making the building and zoning clerk part-time and making one of the assistant clerks in the town clerk's office part.
All right, so we got a motion, our second. Any more discussion on these? All right, we'll go for a vote. Counselor Madnick,
Yes.
O'Shannell.
Yes.
Reynolds.
Yes.
And myself, yes. All right, so building, planning, zoning, and town clerk's office are the first two departments on the list. Do we have any other questions on those two departments before we keep going?
Well,
Back to building hours.
Back to building hours.
Just because I think Danielle and I can come up with what a budget would look like based on the input on what is just decided on how those part-time hours of the rest of the personnel would look like based on your preferences on whether we're going towards this 4-day work week and what hour shift, because they all work kind of different
Yeah.
shifts.
Sure, I'll make a motion to provide the town council with the financial impact and the personnel impact by going to a 4-day work.
Second for discussion,
Sure.
just
We'll go-
add the impact to the services provided to the public as well.
So move.
Was there a preference on options for hours? Because that impacts our part-time
Yeah.
people more than it does our 30 hours.
Yeah. If you guys don't have any immediate thoughts, I'm gonna go back to our planner.
I just want to double check. Did you receive as a council the comments that came from staff?
We did. We received all emails. Some were in favor of it, some were not. So there was mixed reviews. We did.
I just wanted to make sure because they weren't linked.
Oh, they weren't.
They were.
Oh, they were.
No,
Should
my
have-
email. it's
They
not-
should have been linked yesterday.
Nope, have not been. So I just wanted to make sure that you had gotten those comments.
Council was sent it.
Hold
so.
on.
Yeah, I do. I have it up right now.
I just clicked the link and we have, oh wait, that's not it.
I think there might be a linking error.
Sometimes when you send it to clerk space, they don't always do it in the right order.
What,
So I hit that download button, then you can see them.
what's
all.
on there is the letter from
Finance board.
finance board.
We did receive them though.
Yes, we found it out.
We did get them separately, Talia.
Great, I just
You're right.
wanted to make
You're
sure.
right, it's not linked.
As I did submit comments, so,
Mhm.
thank you.
Yeah, it would be good just to make sure the public can see it too. If it's allowed to be public, I don't know.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah,
those
we're
were
talking
all-
about it. Okay.
Those were all.
I think just to be clear on this, and just from my review, of course, there's gonna be some difficulty with staff members that have to stay for meetings. I think that is something that the council and staff can work on later. It's definitely at the top of my mind and how we're gonna handle that from a personnel perspective and giving people breaks and things like that. But I think that's something that we can definitely be flexible on.
Go ahead, Mark.
I would say in light of kind of some of the negative things that we're talking about doing, I know that one preference seemed to be people wanted to keep the closing time at 4 instead of 4:30. So I would be, I guess, in favor of an 8:30 to 4, 3 days a week. And then 8:30 to 6, 1.
It's 29.5 hours. For that option, with a 1 hour lunch.
With a 1 hour lunch on the long day.
Day and a half an hour. And just for the benefit of those that didn't speak, my recommendation for council was every single member who would attend a night meeting, because we work way beyond the 30 hours required. So depending on whatever the ending day would be chosen in a 4-day work week, so if the 4 o'clock is chosen, that town staff that are required to work a Tuesday evening, on the evenings you work, your day ends at 4. So that you'd have enough time, Talia, for planning. You'd have 2.5 hours to come back, because you're going to work beyond that for every other meeting you attend. Same with this evening tonight.
Mhm.
So that, for the benefit of those, that was my recommendation. And I think in fairness, because they're salary and they've been working well beyond the 30 hours anyway.
Yeah, and that's why when it came up a couple weeks ago, that was my first question. Why'd you pick Tuesday to stay late? Because it was just difficult, or not late. That would be the day we'd be open late?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That was my question there. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, and Aaron, the exercise you're gonna be doing and determine that, it's to look at how you can staff appropriately with the different scenarios of part-time that we've said, to still provide the services on the busiest days to the public. It's not an exercise in seeing where you can actually lower the budget based on the change in the schedule, correct? So it's not a budgetary conversation, is it?
It is, because we have hired individuals that work up to a 12-hour week, individuals that work up to an 18-hour week. So wherever they fit, and part of the part-time survey that was received was a little more flexible than obviously the 30 hours, to say, would you be open to a change? Would you be open if you worked 3 part-time days to 1 longer Tuesday and 1 regular day? So we might have certain reductions, but obviously the overall, the benefit is we're trying to stay open later and stay later,
Mhm.
provide more resident access, as well as at the same time provide a work-life balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
a 4-day work week versus 5.
Wanted to just clarify so that no one's expecting when you come back, there's gonna be a big budgetary impact.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
gonna be huge, but at least
Yeah.
we'll have a better number
All
of
right,
what it
thank you.
is.
Okay. Sure.
I just want to be clear, 29.5 hours, we will not be changing anyone's salaries, right? So as our town administrator already stated, our salaried staff already work more than 30 hours. It'd be 29.5 hours of open business hours, but we wouldn't be reducing their salaries commensurate with a reduction in a half-hour work.
Right.
Thank you.
And that would remove, what lunch would we go to for that half-hour lunch? Or
Half an hour,
Okay.
but the long day would be an
A
hour.
long day would be, okay. That makes sense. All right,
Thank you.
so we have a task on that one, right, to find more information for later
We
discussion.
need to vote on it? We need to vote on
Yes.
it second.
Any further discussion?
Nope.
We'll go for our vote. Counselor Madnick,
Yes.
O'Shannell.
Yes.
Reynolds.
Yes.
And myself, yes. All right, we did good with the building, zoning, and clerk's office. We'll go on to information technology. Anybody have anything for Department 13? All right, legal services, Department. Oh, okay.
Hold on. I did have a question. So line item
I'll get you after Dan.
1.13.5484, software support police, $7,000 increase. Is that paid for by a grant?
So this is the
This is
records
the 25,
management.
yeah, it's the
Yeah.
big one, right?
Yep,
the
so
CDs.
we're using for this year opioid funding to offset the increase.
How are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually,
Yeah.
yeah. But I know you get like 1,000 emails, so
The answer is kind of yes.
it's gonna, basically, like our operating line, we have level funded a decrease, and with the IMC or records management, we are going to offset the increase for the new records management with opioid funding that's grant funded, so. Because it can be justified that we track all of our overdoses and Narcan deployment in our CSI records management system, so it fits in those parameters.
Awesome.
So this is 7,000 more. Are you saying you're using the 7,000?
Correct.
Opioid?
Yeah.
All right, so I can zero this. out
Yes.
then.
Sally, you have another question?
If we were to work 29.5 hours, would that make a difference with our health insurance as opposed to working 30? Like,
No,
I think,
no, anything over 20.
okay. I didn't know, because I believe that the ACA is 30 hours a week, but I think that also depends on the number of employees you have.
Yeah, we don't have.
And I don't know how many we
HCA,
have, so.
That's just the police have HCA, we don't.
AC, the Affordable
Oh,
Care
I
Act.
see. Yeah, no.
That would be good to have confirmation in like the research we're having, just to know for sure.
I think it's anything, we provide
It's anything over
healthcare
You
over
can,
20.
you can decide to provide healthcare to someone who works 5 hours, if you want to.
Yeah.
That's up to the employer. That's not regulated by.
Yeah.
But we would just say,
That's your health
Standard.
insurance.
We have great health insurance, not want to lose it.
Good. See, there's.
That's why I asked.
Glad you have great health insurance. All right. Anything else on, Department 13?
Sure,
Yes.
I actually want to go back to Department 10 real quick.
Department
Skip town
10.
council.
Yes.
So we talked about this last time. I understand the arguments about if we reduce it and the council wants to increase their pay, they could do it and then would be an increase the following year. But if we're looking at every single line item and trying to make this budget work, and we want to put a good faith effort in showing that we're willing to do this, then my recommendation would be to reduce the council president stipend from 1,500 to 1,000 and the council members from 5,000 to 3,000. That should net us, including FICA, $26.91.
does 3,000 divide by 4? Right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Is it equal?
750.
I'm relying on you for that. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Make a motion.
All right, so I'll make a motion to reduce the council
Thank you.
president stipend from 1,500 to 1,000. The council members, 4 of them, from 5,000 to 3,000.
All right. Any further council discussion? All right, we'll go for a vote. Counselor Madnick,
Yes.
O'Shannell,
Yes.
Reynolds.
Yes.
And myself, yes. All right, so now we'll head on to Department 14, Legal Services. Any questions there?
Just.
Yeah.
What's the anticipated labor lawyer $3,000 increase?
We had some labor issues, so we had to bump that up based on current labor issues in the town.
Okay, so you anticipate,
Yeah, it's gonna
we have. We could talk about
Okay. Department 15, Finance Office. Does anybody have any questions on this department? All right. Department 16, Tax Assessor's Office. Do we have questions here? 17, Tax Collector's Office. 18, Town Hall, General Government.
Yes.
I have one as well. You can go first. We might have the same one.
Building maintenance town hall. So what are we gonna do?
We have never had a maintenance line item of our own in town hall. And as you can see, we've taken any kind of increase, any kind of building needs such as furnace repair, AC comes out of the Public Works Department. And so, we're approaching this building was built 25 years ago now, and we need some improvement. So not only will it offset, I hope, the ARPA allocation for paint, because we did go, that number came in a little bit more to maintain our siding here. But we do have major aging infrastructure with AC in our heating units, so those repairs are costly. So we thought we needed to start somewhere, and based on the other buildings, those were kind of the numbers that were increased. So it's to have some longevity in maintaining our building that we currently didn't have. We had to repair all of our exit alarm batteries, and they were like of the tune of $260 per unit, because even though we're on generator power, it's required in a
Backup.
Yep, so we took that from the poor Public Works maintenance line item, and
Thank you, Gary.
we can only do that for so long. So
Right.
it's a proactive approach with our aging.
Okay, my
Yeah.
question on it, was, yes, what is it gonna be used for, but also, would it make more sense to put it in the capital improvement? That way it's not use it or lose it.
This aligns with what we did with the other departments. The police station has it in that, so.
Yeah,
Some of the big ones, when, yes, we're gonna need to, I don't even wanna say it out loud, but if we have to replace a big item, would be in capital improvement, but for those small things that are coming up from time to time, this would align us like we do in, Public Works as well as in the police station, which have a maintenance line
no,
item.
I marked a question for those too, like, why are these not capital for, that way you don't feel like you have to replace all the batteries just to use it up.
We don't.
Well, I'm not saying you did, I just mean
Yeah.
like, for example, it could
Yeah.
turn into a situation where, I don't know, I would rather see if there's extra, like if you have a year where maybe you didn't get to maintenance or didn't have enough for a project and you plan to roll it over to the next year and then have enough for the project.
So projects would definitely be in the capital plan, but this is like unexpected maintenance costs, like a repair of a furnace.
We would
an
need something
AC unit
specific for the plan.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
For operating.
That answers my question. Thank you. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, we were fortunate with ARPA.
were
We
ready.
replaced the carpet. We replaced the roof. We painted the walls. Did a lot on the building. It pains me, but in this climate, I think we have to wait on that till next year. We'd have to find the money, but we have to start looking at things that we don't necessarily need to spend on right now.
So we received some heavy duty maintenance of our AC heating unit costs because we have age and restructure and we require the switchovers. We have 6, Josh, right? 6 different AC units in this building, and some is very much longer than the others. And those are every year we're knocking on doors, and it's not an there's no suggested improvements besides maybe offsetting the ARPA painting. But if we don't have any line item set aside for repairs of our current heating and AC system, we're gonna be in a budget deficit, and that was never incorporated in this budget.
So what was the, sorry, Jen.
No, we were just gonna say we never done it before.
Yeah,
So what was the expense this year for HVAC?
we just got those bills. Yeah. I think it was like every time he came out, the contracts was about, is what, 1,800? And but that came out of DPW.
Right, it's coming out DPW, so, well,
And they also are needing
Yeah,
units,
right.
which we replaced
I'm-
with energy efficiency.
I'm fine with having a line item, but if we can
Yeah.
reduce it to approximate what we think the expense, I know
Mhm.
some of it's unexpected, but
Yeah.
so you said we have a service contract that's $1,800? And obviously, whatever.
Every time they come out, it's an
Whatever.
hourly rate, I think. To do the switchover, some of our units require a physical switchover, else it takes the heat from the ceiling and pumps it into the second floor, and it's a 98 degrees. I think that's like a $260 switchover. I mean,
Why don't we use it for 5?
I could go on board with that. That's what I was thinking, just because it's new. We don't know what it's gonna be and it's a tough year. You wanna put it into a motion?
Sure, well, Jim, you want, Jim?
Unless
go ahead.
Jim's got something to add?
Yeah, I mean, I know we talked about also, we need to like stripe the town parking lot. Is that coming out of this or is that a separate
No.
thing?
taking it somewhere else.
Somewhere else?
Bro, I'll get some spray
Before this
spray
budget.
paint cans. We'll come here, we'll do.
No, I know. I mean, it's just,
Call him, girl.
5,000.
like.
Anybody on
I'll
board?
move 5,000.
You brought it up, that's why I'm.
No, I know that. I know.
But it can still be your idea.
No, we're looking at everything. Right? So I'm not trying to remove our ability to fix an air conditioner.
We're gonna fix it, so it'll just be in a deficit, so it'll
Yeah.
come out of contingency. But,
Yeah, which is what we've done in the past. But I mean, this is a proposal. I would say we can move it to the 5,000, and then I think depending on, this is all recommendations for how we do this. When we have more information, just earmark that to, because we need to come back and look at all these things again,
Hmm.
right? And we may say, okay, at that point, 5,000's got to go. Or if we're in a better spot, maybe we can move it up. So I'll go with 5,000, as was recommended by Counselor Reynolds.
That's a motion?
Yes.
All right, thank you for the motion. Do I have a se- Okay, we got our motion. We got our second. Any further council discussion? All right, we'll go for our vote. Counselor Manning,
Yes.
Palmigano,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Yeah? Oh, last cough. All right, here we go. Anything else on Department 18? All right, on to Department 31, Town Sergeant. Anything here? Canvassing Authority, 33. Sure. Oh, we got another one too. We'll go Mark and then Dan.
And I just want to make sure, so the increase in election officials is because we have a election in November this year and we didn't have one last year.
And a primary, and that accounts for early voting, so those costs are fixed, those cannot.
No, I just
No,
want
no.
to understand the increase.
Perfect. And what's your question?
When I was a poll clerk, I thought that the state paid the election officials. Is that still true? Do we get state reimbursed or
No.
not? So the town pays for it.
Correct. The state determines how many workers we have, the town picks up the bill.
Cool.
Sorry, just writing that one down. On to Department 35, Emergency Management. Nope, all right, contingency 36. Municipal Court,
Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, it
I'm
was
sorry.
on 33, the miscellaneous.
yes,
What
sure.
is, what is miscellaneous? $2,000?
It's the very last line, 1335399.
It's just when something's not defined, it pops out.
We got
I assume it's $2,000 for the I voted stickers.
No,
AED
All right.
batteries for the machines this year and last year.
oh, that came out of that.
Under canvassing authority?
Oh, no, I was I thought we had moved on to EM.
Yeah, I'm slow today, Danielle, I'm slow today.
I'm trying, Danielle.
Thank you, Mark, I very much.
Oh my
appreciate
goodness.
it.
Callie, you have something you want to add?
I mean, I know that we feed our poll workers.
That's-
Is that miscellaneous?
That might,
Yes.
we figured it out. It's
It is.
money. Thank you.
That's what it is?
In totality, that's for elections.
Okay.
And we do get reimbursed for Charahoe's election.
I would just recommend that we just put a note there in the line, like
Yep.
catering budget.
All right.
Yeah,
I
thank
know
you.
this because when there's leftover salad, I get to eat it.
Oh, nice. All
Thank you.
right, so we touched on emergency management, contingency, municipal court, probate court. Yeah.
So,
What do we got?
no, forget it.
You sure?
Yeah, I just, it's hard to tell, and the contingency is unexpected. So we haven't used a lot of it. if
Yeah.
any. But let's keep it for now.
Okay. Debt service.
I have some questions.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll start with the increases first. So line items 5786 and 5794. Are those variable interest rate bonds?
Some of them are and some aren't. So those probably are, obviously, because it has changed.
What was, we can't fix it now. Was there a option to have a fixed rate or not?
I don't know, they come out so long ago.
Okay, I mean, one of them was issued in fiscal year 24.
So
That was.
Yeah.
I was only got to sign at the end. I didn't get to do any of the other stuff. I just came in to sign. It was already done.
Got it. And just, I know that we've been talking back and forth, but line items, so 5783 and 5784.
Yep.
When we come back next year, we're going to be able to remove $268,000 from line items.
We will owe for the 28 year. So next year will be our last year, the
Okay.
28.
For one more year after.
One more year. Yep. So for 29, it's gone. And then we don't lose any others until 2034.
Got it.
All right, we'll go on to restricted account 41. Town administrator 44,
Hold on.
Yeah.
41.
Done?
back to 41.
What is 41 for? Did we-
Every year we have to put money in for the next revow. So every year we put in 20, all the towns do it, so that you catch up,
Okay,
because it's expensive when we do a full revow.
which is gonna be 2 years from now? Every 5, right?
It's every 9.
9. When's the next?
Every
one?
3 is statistical, and then 9 is the full.
Do we know
I
when?
think it was 2 years. Yeah. It was-
Coming up though.
Yeah, we emailed about it before. It's,
Yeah,
yeah,
couldn't remember.
the next year it's within 2.
All right, town administrator line. Any questions or concerns here? Yeah.
I'll make a motion to remove the grant writer at $40,000. Unless that's ARPA, that's not ARPA, right?
No,
Motion to remove the grant writer at 40,000.
awesome. We did briefly discuss it earlier. Any further council discussion?
Unfortunate.
It is.
We've tried 2 years in a row. We had a chance last year. What a mistake that was.
All right, on to our vote. Counselor Dinsmore, not Dinsmore, Madnick.
He's a ghost.
The habit.
I know, yes.
Paul
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
and myself, yes.
Could go right down the line.
I could. I just do it so it's clear to the public. Department 49, other, which, thank you for adding more information this, earlier in the presentation on what it is. I saw Mark and then I saw Dan.
So insurance, we gotten competing quotes? What?
No, so our workman's comp, we haven't gotten this year's numbers from our current vendor.
That's the trust?
No, workman's
Beacon?
is Beacon.
Okay.
Yep. So we hope to have those numbers.
About liability.
No, we don't have those yet. So these are buffers. We do expect those to increase.
Yeah, I'm not. Did you have you priced that with different vendors, the liability coverage?
Not yet, because we don't.
They do it for us.
Who does it?
Like, we have women's insurance,
The agent
and
does?
they do it, yeah.
Again, I just, my plug-in for the trust.
All right.
Watch.
Yeah.
49, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did almost forget you.
All right, so we're probably gonna get this later, but I'll bring it up now. People can noodle on it. So line item 5358, transfer to capital 760,000, 250 requested for this year. Later on, we're looking at $1 million usage of the fund balance. Right, and the way I look at that is capital improvements are a one-time payment. If you got money in savings, you can take that one time. Doesn't affect your operational costs, right? Because if you take fund balance of your operational expenses, for example, the school, at some point you run out of savings and you fall off the cliff, and that's where we're at. So if I understand this correctly, we're basically going to be covering about $240,000 with fund balance. So we're going to have to make that up next year
Yeah.
in
Yep.
some revenue increase. Okay. We get our state aid back, maybe we'll be in a better shape.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Before I forget. When you rerun numbers, and you rerun them, assuming we get the $300,000 in education aid stored?
All right, so like back to this year's, you mean?
Yes.
I don't know if we should. I
I wanna
have,
know, I think we should know what it is. You wanna,
if you could do both, I
could
think
do
that would
a
be better.
separate
I just feel
so
like,
have the- yeah.
Rep Cotter's been very transparent with us. She came to our town hall meeting and she said this is a difficult year. So I think we should maybe just realize that it's a difficult year for the state, typical year for us, typical year for the school. So I don't want to, count my chickens before they hatch. But I am curious to see what kind of difference it would make. So if we could see both, I think that would be best.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Education is the next portion. We'll skip that department. Public Works Department 19. Do we have any questions on this department?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so, line item 5378, coming at you, Gary. $25,000 increase in equipment maintenance. parts.
19,
Department 19, public works.
all the way down.
Yep, second one at the bottom.
Yeah, 5378.
I don't have it too.
Do. We kicked off getting, we prevented getting a street sweeper last year. I'm going to foreshadow, but the 100K allocation. Probably not gonna be able to do that again. Is this increase in maintenance budget going to be enough to keep everything alive another year?
That's what, and there's a few items we have down there right now with that coming back up, and I'm being very careful at the time. We can fix a truck, just needs a body, that's a great truck that fits everybody's category down there, CDL, per diems. And it's just a matter of a body, it's like, just going back up, I just wanna get back to where we were on the safe end. And the graders, we gotta do some work to the grader, there's a few other things, and it's just might not, but it'd be nice to have it there. So right now I'm sitting on stuff because I know we still got another 3 months to go. So
If we remove the 100K for the street sweeper like we did last year, do you need to increase it more to keep that thing running? So basically,
He's nodding, I don't know if you can. see.
I'm looking at a trade-off, right? So $100,000 for new equipment, or we limp the street sweeper along for another year. And I'm kind of curious if, if we drop the 100,000, but we increase your maintenance, will that cover us? I'm kind of asking if,
I think we can limp along with the sweeper right now, but it's going to have to be kept in mind down the road. I mean, now they're up to $100,000 now, but going on what, 8, 9 years old now, 7, 8. But it's something we're gonna have to keep in. Sweep is gonna have to eventually. Well, I think we can get by another year. No problem. Might be a little more maintenance that we want to get into with it, but they're a very fragile piece of equipment, so.
so
If
then,
I think we keep the maintenance up there, we can just where we were.
okay.
Not asking for no more, just get
So-
back to where we were.
If we remove that from the capital improvement plan, are you going to need to increase this line item for additional maintenance on the street sweeper?
Yeah, probably so. It's gonna need shimming. That's nothing, anything with that, it's nothing cheap to keep going.
Do you have an idea how much? Roughly?
Not offhand. I could get you figures.
Think we should get that for next council meeting?
Yeah.
To make Yeah, I'll make a motion to ask our DPW director, Gary, to determine what the additional maintenance costs will be on the street sweeper if the $100,000 is removed from the capital improvement.
Second it. Any further council discussion on the motion? All right, we'll go for our vote. Councilor Madnick.
Yes.
Shawna.
Yes.
Reynolds.
Yes.
And myself, yes. Yes. We usually take like public comment after council discussion. I know it's a long night, but we do have 2 public hearings on this as well. I just want to keep us focused.
Just had a question on 19 as well.
Sure.
Just just a question on the driver behind the, yeah, I think it's 5130. It's the retirement, the increase. What's the main driver between the increased cost there? And maybe this question for you.
And if the pay goes up, the retirement goes up. Is that what you just asked me?
Yeah, so it's a 52% increase in the retirement.
Yeah,
Or
it
was it
was a
simply-
changeover from the, some of the pays were shifted around to more Ricky's, yeah.
The supervisor position for the transfer station is actually included in Public Works.
Yep.
But if we reduce that CDL line item, which we haven't voted on, that could come off, because that's built on all of that.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay,
But,
thank you.
The street sweeper is a 2018. And when we bought it, it was 212,000. So I imagine it's much more now.
Awesome. Go ahead, Mark.
So I'm glad somebody reminded, maybe it was Aaron.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion that we determine the amount of reducing one CDL position in DPW, utilizing seasonal like we did this year.
I'll second it. Any further council discussion on that one?
What exactly does that mean? Like what impact is that having?
So this winter, we had 2 CDL drivers out, one from June to just return part-time, and one from October, and we've had the biggest snowstorm we've had in 10 years, and we utilized a seasonal hire. And so that seasonal hire received the same rate of that, but didn't get health benefits or anything like that. So that would be a reduction of a full-time CDL. But now that we've kept the custodian, we have a labor going back onto the crew full-time, and if we're supporting the transfer station with that additional personnel, it's one less person being pulled from our public works staffing. Because technically our staffing of the transfer station and public works should be all considered as one, but we really need to start rating that based on how they work,
Yeah.
Thank you.
because they overlap.
So again, just to be clear, so instead of regular wages at 10, it's going to be regular wages at 9. Right.
All right, so we'll go on to our next department then.
Did we vote? Did we vote on that? I don't think we voted.
We did not vote on that.
No.
I'm sorry about that. Thank
That's
you.
all right.
Counselor Madnick,
Yes.
Alshano,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Now on to our next department, 23 other public works, transfer station utilities. Anything here? All right, on to 24 building maintenance.
So,
Yep, go ahead.
so Aaron, there is a line item here. So this is DPW building.
Yeah.
maintenance, Okay.
Yeah.
I figured it out as I was asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this reduction of wages is the custodial position because they were hired at a lower rate than our labor rate. So we would like to keep that included in the next, because that's not just for public works. That person cleans all of our building
Yep.
facilities.
Okay. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, what is the building maintenance? It's what, I mean, I know that I'm sure there's no end to things that could be fixed in the building. Was there something in mind that you had for the building maintenance? Cause it's a $5,000 increase?
Yep. So that is for Gary. Is that for that heater in the back shop?
It's 2 back shots. I'm trying to myself.
Yeah, very loud.
What was this for, Jim, now?
It's listed as building maintenance on the last section there. 5285.
5285.
5285.
Building maintenance from 5 to 10.
It's not the gutters, Gary.
No, it's not the gutters, no.
This
It
is like
could be
just
that
general
you
maintenance.
always Over budget in it. It could have been that. You're already over budget.
That's
You were over budget in December. So it's, you just
Okay.
added to
Alright.
it since, so. I think that's probably
Just
why.
based on what your budget. was.
actually, yeah, because we take from that budget.
So wait a minute,
Well,
then.
hopefully not anymore.
Not
Yeah,
anymore.
okay,
Now we
alright.
got 5,000.
All right. Thank you, Gary.
All right, so we'll move on to the next one. Back to the transfer station, we have Department 32. Do we have any more questions on this one we wanna talk about? All right. On to Public Safety Department, 21, this is animal control. Any questions here? On to 30, Police Station, Community Center Building. I
Yes.
had maintenance highlighted. You wanna go ahead?
Go right ahead.
I just had the same similar question we've been asking all night. What kind of maintenance are we looking at for the community senior center?
The building was essentially built in '88 and
Mhm.
it is an aging structure. It needs some TLC. And for instance, we had 2 stairs repaired. That was a capital line item that we've been carrying for a couple of years. That's going to be under budget, $6,000 right now. But the upcoming year, in talking with the rec director and Dennis, there were some items up on the second floor that they need to get taken care of. So when this was originally proposed, we increased it by 8,000, but it was offset by a proposed reduction in electricity.
Okay,
Because at the time in FY 24-25, you spent a total of 4,717 one year, 3,400 another year. But now they've changed the meters on the building. And for some reason,
They're accurate.
they
Yeah.
have, I don't know, they have spiked to almost $1,200 a month, and we have a lot of
yeah,
rise energy improvements with lights going off automatically. It's boggling. It goes from basically $280 a month to $1,200 once they put the new meters in.
oh, wow,
It's a conversation I want to have with Ryan Energy to
Yeah.
find out why it's such an increase when we haven't really changed any of our operating procedures in the building. So originally it was going to be level funded and that total
would have, yeah,
for that department, but I think Danielle and Aaron wanted to make sure that we had enough money to cover electricity for the upcoming year.
Yeah,
I
for
still
sure.
think even at $1,200 times 12 months, I think we have room to reduce the electric request from 24,000 down, but I'm going to defer to our finance director. I maybe can get more information for you at the next meeting.
yeah, that might be
See if
good.
we can reduce that by the amount that we're increasing in maintenance.
Okay,
We've been tracking the meters. Danielle has been,
Yeah.
ever since we switched over the meters to track all of our costs on that, so. Danielle, you have,
Yeah, because now it's up to, it was 1251 this March. And back in October, it was 282.
With that kind of variance, perhaps we could have someone from Rhode Island Energy come and address council and explain, and amazingly, you're gonna see that level out, I'm sure.
No, they usually say your old meter was bad.
I think,
That's.
I think you've been doing a really great deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, okay, so it's still going up and down?
We
It's-
talked about
it's,
this, has been
Great.
ongoing issues all over the state,
Well, you're
people
okay.
complaining everywhere.
Yeah.
Charge you.
Town hall is pretty stable,
Well,
their number now compared to our number here. And ours didn't jump up, so, and theirs switched from a residential meter to a commercial meter, or the other way around.
It was commercial and now it's residential.
Yeah,
oh, interesting.
Yes, so it should have gone the opposite.
so we're.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
not
We'll do
higher.
follow up with Ryan Energy and see if we can get some better clarification, and maybe some corrections.
Please.
I'll take the old meter back, even if it's
Yeah.
broken.
Thank you, chief.
Yeah.
Need a motion?
No, I'm almost saying like, if you need anything from us to push Rhode Island Energy, put it on the next agenda for us. To, you know, do what we need to do.
Don't they want to poll?
Send us a,
later in the-
they do want to pull it on. Let's see if they get that. Oh God, they're putting on this call right now. I forgot about that one. All right, on to public safety administration. Or, yeah, did that answer all your questions as well? I know you had,
Yeah, I was gonna ask
Okay.
about the $8,000, the only
Perfect.
other difference was, hey, was it covered by a grant, but I think the answer is no, so.
all right. Public safety
This
administration.
is covered by offsetting with reducing electricity until the new meter went in, and then everybody's eyebrows went up. So, yeah.
Okay, Department 60? Nope. All right, public safety officers? What is that, 61?
Yes.
Yep, all right, we got 62 police dispatchers.
Did I just go
Oh,
back to
yeah,
that? Just a general statement. That 15th officer was approved, I think, a few years ago. But we haven't been able to recruit that amount and deal with the retention issues we had over the last few years. One due to passing of a senior member. I would just like, and I understand the hardships with what the town is facing. I'm
Mhm.
sensitive to it. I have no problem, being a team player and saying, we can shelve that for this year if we need to. I would just ask that it not be completely discarded. And the reason is, town is growing. The census data from 2020 is no longer accurate. We've got 7 West Shannock, Richmond Ridge, Jupiter Drive. There's over 100 people basically in both of those neighborhoods. Call volume's gone up. Whole Valley Barracks is being relocated. State police are leaving town to go north. And I'm not saying that they're not going to cover Richmond and southern areas, but when you take away the beehive, you take away the bee activity, visibility, a regular presence. So we need a full-time police department, as we have right now, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I would ask that that be considered. The average for 8,000 in a population for police complement is about 16 to 23. So we're basically 13 police officers and I,
Mhm.
which is 14. The 15 was kind of bringing us back into that area where we felt comfortable we could cover calls for service and reduce overtime costs. That's all. I just wanted to make that point to you. The town is actually growing the population, the call volume. So we'll do less with more for another year. I'll do more with less. I don't want to do less.
Get you some coffee.
The Jedi made my trip. Okay.
Yeah, I know, that's a tough, I did see it in the preliminary budget, and I know it got reduced by the finance board, I suppose, or maybe through Aaron, I'm not sure. So I appreciate the police department hanging on for another year. But I don't think there's a way for us to, I guess, guarantee it'll come back next
Understand why
year
the
or something,
finance
right?
committee made that recommendation. I just wanted to have that conversation so it's clear. This is gonna be recorded.
Yeah,
So the statement was made.
okay, thank you so much.
Yes.
Sure, go ahead.
Before we move away, so there's a line here, chief, for part-time seasonal, which wasn't utilized last year. You anticipate utilizing it this year?
Could you just give me the line?
Yeah, it's right below regular wages, the second line in the department.
Okay. That was not for the clinician, was it?
No,
I think we could probably eliminate that. Our per diem officers that work details paid for by third parties comes out of a different part of the budget.
actually, it was the clinician
It
back in
was.
22.
Okay,
and you
you can
have
wipe it out.
use-
It's coming
yeah.
out of a different line now.
Yep.
All right, you want to do a formal motion on that, or do we just remove it?
Yeah, well,
Thank
may
you.
as well. I'll make a motion to remove the part-time, seasonal, police officer position at $20,000.
Second it, any council discussion? We'll go for a vote, Counselor Madnick,
Yes.
Moshano,
Yes.
Reynolds.
Yes.
And myself, yes. Awesome, anything else in public safety officers? All right, police dispatcher, 62. All right. On to recreation, 22. Do you have something you want to
If
add?
I could add a statement, because
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would look at the rec director, the increase is not, Robin's not getting some sort of large raise. She's was standard with the 3%. But the previous year was based on when we were talking about the community umbrella position that was being offset with ARPA. So I think it's really clear that, the hiring rate of the rec director as proposed, as you approved, she's in the same line as a 3%. It just skews the number because of what we utilized last year that we thought would be offset with ARPA funds. So Robin, obviously, we didn't utilize all of that funds on how it came in, so that will go back into the general fund. But I just thought it was important for the public to see that she's not getting a 17.29% increase. That was just based on what we proposed last year.
Okay, that makes sense. I appreciate the explanation on that. I had a question on the program. We're having a $5,000 increase. We're also increasing the rec commission, and how much of that is overlapping between the two?
They're separate.
They're separate. So what is the recreation program? Part-time, is that like summer camp?
So, sorry, the
Okay.
5391
Right.
program expenses.
5010. Danielle nodded and said it was.
The 5010, it's for
Oh, yes.
yeah,
Okay,
that's
Sorry.
all the counselors and everything.
okay,
All of it.
That's gonna be covered by fees then.
right,
It does,
So
yeah,
it's neutral.
Yep.
Yeah.
okay. All right, anything else on recreation?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna throw it out there. We have to discuss this, I think, given the situation we're in. We have a new recreation director, which we hadn't had before. We have a recreation commission, and we also have a senior activities director and stipend. Why don't we consider combining those positions? Not the recreation commission, but the recreation director and the senior activities director into one. If we're looking at consolidating other areas, making things more efficient, that's something we want to consider. And I don't want this to be taken as anything personal to either of you. You guys do a great job. I'm just looking at this from a logistics standpoint, looking at this budget going forward.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's worthwhile we have everyone here to discuss this and see if it's something that we want to entertain.
Yeah. How much overlap do you see?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
And I'm blind to what both positions do, so I'm hoping we can have some input and really discuss this, if this is something that we want to entertain.
So are you looking to have both roles go from 2 parts to 1 part? Is that what you're thinking?
One person, would be consolidating 2 positions to 1.
Just so I understood.
But you'd be consolidating 2 part-time positions to a full-time.
Maybe not,
Oh, 2 part to a full or 2 part to 1 part?
1 part-time. You could increase the part-time, still be below the full-time. Still would be a non-benefited position. But that one position would handle both the recreation activities and the senior activities.
How many hours
I-
would that be?
Yeah.
I don't know, that's why I'm trying to figure out if that's something we need to discuss.
Because before Richmond Townhouse is not to fruition and we expect that role for the rec director will increase based on reserving those. Some of that's offset with reserving the community service by, Helena does some of that. Robin's based on 18 hours. Dennis is based on, his is just a stipended position.
It's a stipend.
So you'd have to know how many hours that is and how much you'd be putting on Robin's plate.
So he works about 25 hours a week.
Yeah.
That he's there,
I'm
that he's,
I'm an employee, but I'm not, I don't collect any health benefits or anything of that nature, retirement plans or anything. So,
Yeah, the
I've been
stipend.
doing it for 17 years, so the last 3 years or 5 years, we've kept our budget pretty level. We've had a few expenses we've had to go up, and we've had some that had to go down. So
Yeah.
we're staying pretty level over the long haul. We're all dealing with seniors, we're dealing with older people.
Yeah.
And you people will be there someday. And you'll see how important the senior center is. I know you've been there, Samantha.
Mhm.
But some of the other counselors are invited to come to some of our celebrations. Invite you, I'll certainly send out invitations. But as far as the money goes, I can't see any place. I can't see any place where we would cut. We're on pretty level ground. We maintain our budget. We don't go over. We stay under, and we make it. We do the best we can with what we've got.
Yeah.
We have 3 rooms, so.
Go ahead, Mark.
So at a $16,000 stipend, working 25 hours a week, he's getting paid about $12.30 an hour. So you're getting a bargain. You're a bargain, Jen.
Certainly up.
And I would be this year with cutting out the grant writer with ARPA money and human services going away in December. We're gonna need every department to have the ability to continue to secure grants. And so I don't know if Robin and Dennis combining those facilities will both have that to do that. That's probably inaccurate.
Makes sense. Kate,
I'll
do you have anything you want to
also say
add?
that I've had help. I've had help from Kate and from Robin in a number of different things, and that's well appreciated among all the other things that they do.
Yeah.
They've stepped up and they've helped me with a lot of different items for the senior center and for our seniors. We have approximately right now 200 members. We've maintained that number for 15 years. So
Yeah.
we fill in the rooms that we've got. If we try to expand when we can or where we can, but we have a great group of seniors. Richmond can be very proud of the senior population, and I know because I go to bat for them every day.
Gonna go to Kate. She's got her hand up.
I would just add to, Dennis opens the senior center
Mhm.
every day from 9 to 12. So it is available for our seniors. And I think that is a value that he certainly adds at $12.50 an hour. So combining that, I think just the hours in themselves, then you're looking at the potential reduction in the hours of the senior center, which is not much as is. And, you know, our seniors don't have that much in our community as is. So adding more or taking away from what is currently there for our seniors would, I think it would be a detriment to our community.
Yeah, and I know Dennis was crediting a lot of people who help him. I want to credit the volunteers too on the senior activities. Every time I go to one of the events, they're setting up, they're breaking down, they're doing so much work. Any other discussion on this one? Yeah, Jim.
When you're done,
Go?
not on this topic.
Oh, yeah, okay. Any more?
I think that the work is there, and having it done by one person doesn't necessarily gonna save you anything. So I think it's better to keep it the way we have it with the senior activities, senior center director stipend, and the rec director in the part-time capacity. I think it, like Kate said, it works, it benefits our seniors, and, again, Dennis is doing it. Obviously he needs to get paid for his time, but I think he's also doing it because he's dedicated to the seniors. And, that's great. And we need someone like that. So I think that's important.
Okay, so we'll move on. We did skip, did you have something on recreation? Then we'll go to community services.
It kind of goes into both.
Okay.
And Erin, remind me when you have, sorry. I know I think this was when we were talking about that community position back in the day. We had talked about at one point the recreation director overseeing the budgets that would fall underneath that, right? We had talked about, I think it's the 7,000 that's in the rec budget, or 9,000, whatever, the $16,000 combined, that the senior activities budget and all those budgets would be under one. Not that pulling anything from them, but the oversight was the responsibility of the director to oversee that. But now we have those in two different departments. Are we still looking at that in the future, like having those budgets under the rec director?
The rec director is overseeing it, but because we didn't make an umbrella position, we kept it separate.
Oh, so
But yet she was still tasked with that, and this amendment we made.
yeah,
So that,
Correct.
no change.
so it is happening. Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right. On to community services. I have a lot highlighted here. I love the new budget updates. One of my only feedback would be I would want to see what the finance board has cut out, because this is where they made a lot of changes, but I did compare it to older requests. Before we had learned about some other challenges this evening, my initial plan was to try to give some back to the community, especially knowing that federal issues are trickling down and RICAN needs it. They had requested like $1,000 more according to my notes here, as did some other groups, but I just don't see the opportunity to do that anymore. I just wanted to recognize that, I guess they've already done their part and received cuts. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to say about the community services section?
Yeah, this is not unpopular even for me. Everyone's struggling. This town is struggling. This community's struggling. It's a tough year. Our government's cut a lot of different programs. I don't think we should be adding any more to community services. I don't think we should be increasing the allocations. I really don't like saying that. I don't, because I know how important these things are to this community. But we are in a really, really tough spot. And if we're going around the fringes and the edges of our budget, and we're looking at $11,000 here of increases.
Don't think any should have increases?
I don't think any. I think just like everyone else who has to, quote unquote, tighten their belt or manage with what they have, I think these organizations are going to have to do the best that they can and fundraise however they can. I mean, I understand the issues, and I donate a lot to RICAN because food insecurity is big, but scouting for food, do all that. But we're in a tough spot here, and every dollar in this budget is going to matter.
So RICAN already has been reduced by the finance board.
I-
They're not part of 11. Okay, I just
For
wanted
an
to,
example,
yeah, okay.
I'm saying that they should be flat. Wood River asked for only 1,500, we keep that, but the other 11,028 is removed. And maybe we can put it back in depending on how things go. Next
Right.
week.
Yeah, and you're not talking about not funding, you're just talking about keeping it the level it was last time.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I think I might want to offer clarity because when I looked into it, Wood River requested 5,000, but the finance board gave them 1,500 because that's what they had done prior years. And one year we increased it. I just wanted to say when we bring them back to what they requested, that it's not, I know it says requested fiscal year, but that's where in the new structure, I kind of missed
Yeah.
it's beautiful. That's my only little thing.
If you add more, then it's.
I know it gets long, it gets little, I get legal
Yeah.
size. Yeah, I get you. But just to offer clarity for your suggestion, that's all.
All right, I mean, they stick at 1,500, what's being presented to us, and then we remove the other 11,028.
Okay.
Is that a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right.
Discussion before it's second.
Yeah, more discussion. I just wouldn't want to do it as a whole. I see what you mean. I don't mind leaving it where they are, but I do think that Hope Valley Ambulance and Clark Memorial, like those are community services that I think they're asking for 3,000 and 5,000, and I would want to keep those two at least in. Yes.
I certainly recognize your comment, but we are certainly donating a significant amount. The amount we wouldn't be contributing to keep it flat is negligible compared to the total. And given the situation that we have, we're just in a tough situation. We're looking at
Yeah.
reducing salaries to our employees. We're looking at all these different benefits. We're looking at equipment that we need. I think keeping it flat, we're not taking it away. We're still just keeping it flat. That's all.
Yeah, I would echo that. I mean, everyone's doing their part,
Okay.
taking a hit, so to speak. And so, share the pain, I guess. So,
All right.
they're all worthy organizations. But, and again, if, we get back and we've got $11,000 to put back, then we can consider putting it back. But I
Absolutely.
think we should take it out for now and see where it takes us.
All right, you guys got me. I'll go for it. We'll go for a roll call vote anyway. Counselor Madnick,
Yes.
Palmigano,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
and myself, yes. All right. We did touch on senior activities a little bit. Any more here? All right, on to the Recreation Commission. This is another one I want to recognize that they requested 4K more. They requested 10,000. They've already been reduced down to 6. There we go. Yeah.
Do we anticipate? So none of this is off, none of these programs are fee-based other than summer camp?
No, Mike.
So we are starting to have some additional programs that are fee-based, and
Okay.
looking into that, we would like to create more of a little revenue for us. So a small one that we just started was Mahjong lessons. So we had a instructor come on to teach Mahjong, gave us a little bit of a revenue on each of those. So we are starting to do that, yes. It will be very small to begin with, but that's definitely something we're working with. Increasing.
Awesome.
And the ARPA funds that we reallocated the last time are offsetting those increases. And because the rec commission is having the food truck night, that will offset the ARPA funds as well for police detail, trash, all, hiring a band, and doing all of those things in-house.
So is this rec commission $6,000 going to be funded through ARPA?
No, they had requested 10,000, so we
Yeah.
brought them back to 6,000, so
So 4 of it's going to be ARPA.
correct.
So our increase was to add on food trucks event, doing that, as well as some additional events. But with ARPA, we can use that for.
Awesome. Any other questions on recreation?
No, it's just a statement. I think the Easter egg hunt was an example of what that group is doing.
Mhm.
And I mean, I didn't get to attend the Easter egg hunt, but I heard from several of my neighbors just in my area who wanted to take the time to come over and say that was an amazing event that you guys put on. I mean, it's the volunteers too, right? They're all volunteers. They're running around like crazy. So the return on value for that money spent for the community is exponential. I mean, it's just amazing. And that's just one example of the work that they're doing. So I think that one, you have to look at the value to the community, and it's definitely a bargain. So.
And I will say, many of our events are much more well attended than they were in the past. So the Easter egg hunt being a perfect example, we needed more eggs. But it was very hard to know how many were actually gonna show
Yeah.
up the day.
Double.
In the budget.
Well, and we had doubled our eggs. We doubled.
Oh, wow.
So 2 totes full. Next year we need, 4 totes.
Line item, eggs.
Eggs.
Well, last year I remember you had a collection basket for extra eggs. at
Yes,
the
so I will be
conservatory.
doing that
Yeah.
as well for the school budget as well. I will put up, so it will be out there. and
Oh,
those to
perfect.
vote Can drop off some extra eggs. Also, Ryecan has some for sale, so whoever doesn't purchase those for Easter, I let them know I'll be taking those off their hands as well.
Nice.
So, yeah, at a nice discount, so. But yes, thank you, Jim. But the event was much larger than we had really anticipated. It
Awesome.
Great stuff.
was great. Thank you.
All right, South Recreation Commission, on to economic development. This is 28. Do we have anything on this one?
Yes.
Yep.
I think we should move the $1,000 to the Richmond Task Force.
I had,
Task Force.
yeah, I had that one highlighted as well.
What was that gonna be for?
So we had identified that there's a couple of things that we have. We're doing we're working with the EDC to do a promotional where we are going to be doing a crowdsource film contest. This is something that we're working on. In essence, it's a way to get free, high quality marketing that we can use for the town as part of our marketing strategy. So in essence, we do you launch a program. We give a certain time period. You allow people to sign up for it. You give them parameters based on the village concept that we've designed. We give them, say, you have to use X number of local monuments in that. You give them, they come back for a review period, and we actually have intellectual property rights to all the films. So, if you've ever been to Epcot, which I know, Robin, you're a big fan of, you in the mindset of the Canada exhibit, like Oh Canada, that is Oh Richmond. You would get the high quality film
Snack.
production video. So that we're going to be using part of that money to do prizes for that. Also, some of the marketing we use. So that's what we set at 1,000 that would be utilizing that. In the spirit of things, I think if we were to reduce it to $800, that would still allow us to have some flexibility. We could try partnering with EDC, but we do need to have some funding to execute that program. Sorry. Over.
If you're working with the EDC gets their stipend. Could it come out of their program expenses?
Not necessarily, because theirs is stipulated on what they can use it for, so we'd have to work with them, and we haven't had the conversation of using their budget, because this is coming up now, so. It is possible, but it's up to the EDC chairperson to decide. And we're in the Rich Task Force.
Right. It would be up to the EDC as a whole.
Yeah, I can't direct them to allow us to use their budget.
Right.
It's $1,000. They keep it.
We might be split on that one. I'd be okay with removing it just because I thought the Rich Task Force was coming together and then going back to its groups. So that would be something I would see the EDC taking over. But if it stays, it stays.
I'll make a motion to remove the $1,000 from the Rich Task Force.
Second it. Any further council discussion? All right, we'll go for our roll call vote. Counselor Madnick,
Yes.
O'Shannell,
No,
Reynolds,
No,
and Wilcox, yes. So motion fails because we needed all. We needed 3. Anyway, anything else on the economic development? All right, we'll go on to the 250th Commission, semi-quincentennial, Department 45.
I'll make a motion to remove the $2,500 from the 250th semi-quincentennial commission.
I'll second it for discussion. You want to say anything before I go?
what was that for?
What was it for? Yeah, so we are celebrating the nation's 250th and we have events lined up. We've been grateful to get a few grants as well. The grants aren't covering everything. We have a fundraising opportunity where we're creating a booklet that explains all of our different events from the field day to historical cleanups to book talks, to keep forgetting the scavenger hunt that Dave's planning. And during our last meeting, we were talking about the scavenger hunt. The booklet that's going to explain all the events. We're actually getting business sponsorships into it. I'm not asking for business sponsorships. I felt awkward as a council member doing that, but the commission is. And during that meeting, I said, well, since we're bringing in this revenue with the booklet, do you guys think that we can reduce this 250 or 2000 or the 250th commission? And I was alone in that thought with the commission. So on behalf of the commission, I want you to know that they don't agree with removing it because we want to get prizes for people to get them excited and bring more community togetherness, similar to like what the recreation department's doing. And it's only 1 year. It'll be away in future years. This is our one opportunity to celebrate the nation's birthday. Go ahead, Jim.
Do you remember how many events are you guys running?
We plan for one event per month from May to September. So I think we have like 6 book talks. We have the field day. We're partnering with the Historical Society for the birthday of the schoolhouse. I did mention the scavenger hunt, field day. We
Okay.
got a lot of events. coming
Yeah,
up.
no,
And one thing we've been doing is more contests with the students, and we did a logo contest and got no entries. We did another contest with different entries about students were using art, whether they're writing. We actually got a musical entry. And there's different themes for different age groups. Again, our group, we divided and conquered. We split up into different tasks that we come back every week. So I don't remember the categories off the top of my head, so I'm sorry. But we offered a prize to the students and we actually got entries. So logo contest, no prize, no entries. Artistic work with I think it's even like $100 prize, got multiple entries. If you guys would like to split the baby, maybe we could cut it in half, the 2,500 versus losing it all. But again, when's the next time we're going to turn 250 years old?
just if I can just finish my thought on that.
Yeah.
You know, I think I certainly appreciate Councilor Mandick, you going through everything's on the table. I mean, I would much rather cut our stipend than cut some of these things that are giving back to the community. And I think we've done that. We've attacked some of these bigger items. Absolutely. I think these are table stakes where these are, especially the 250th. We've got a group of volunteers who have really organized to create these awesome events. Let's let them run with it. It's this year. We will find other areas where we can kind of shave the corner. I think we've done that. Your recommendation on the $11,000 we saved and the increases was a great suggestion. I think this one we need to keep, in my opinion. Thank you.
All right, we did have a motion in my second. Any further council discussion before you vote? All right, we'll go for a vote. Councilor Madnick.
Yes.
Palmigano.
No.
Reynolds.
No.
And no for myself as well. On to the land trust. Any questions on the land trust? They have no increase. Ready to go land trust. All right, Conservation Commission. Any questions on their operating expenses? All right, Dog Park Committee, any questions on them?
What now? I'll
Yeah.
make a motion to remove the $600 from the dog park program expenses.
I'll second it for discussion. Would you like to
Can you give us some idea?
go on?
They still haven't spent the money. It's
Yeah.
second year in a row, and if they're not gonna spend it, it's gotta go somewhere else. I mean, frankly, I'd rather that $600 go to Rich Task Force or 250.
Mhm.
I mean, if you're not spending it, why do we keep allocating it to you?
In a situation where it hasn't been spent, I would say that you could reduce it by half. And then, but we don't have anyone here from the dog park committee, do we?
We do not.
And it wasn't required to have boards and commissions here. In
No,
fairness to
it's
that.
not.
Do we know what that 600 is used for? I mean, I know they have the pooper bags and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
but
It was originally added to the budget back when I was on the dog park committee, and we based the $600 off of what we had to do for repairs before actually the new dog park was built. So that's where we pulled that number from, and since it's been built and it's there, it doesn't seem like they're using it. I would hope that there's maintenance going into it though. So I mean, we can remove it and then have them come advocate what they need it for, and hopefully get some maintenance plan there.
in the spirit of Councilor Reynolds, $300 or $600 is not going to save our budget.
Yes, that's true.
Getting everything,
I know.
I appreciate that.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
not fun. It's not. I don't get any pleasure in doing this.
I didn't say that. I would say 300, then 300
I'll amend the motion.
When the motion
300.
reduces it to 300, all right.
second. And everyone votes as they wish.
Yeah. We'll go for a roll call vote. Counselor Mannick,
Yes.
Palmigano,
Yes.
Reynolds.
Yes.
And myself, yes. All right, so we reduced them to 3. All right, so that brings us through the. Now it's on to revenue. And my agenda's not out anymore. The next we'll go on to the capital improvement, I believe, because we already discussed. Oh, should we go summer camp fees and then we'll go on to capital improvement? Yeah, just to follow the agenda. I do have it, thank you so much.
Okay.
It's not in front of me anymore. All right. I was gonna say, does anybody need a break before we go into this, or should we do summer camp then break? Summer camp? All right. Discussion and consideration of setting the 2026 summer camp fees. Is this going to our town administrator or our rec director? Who's gonna?
Robin.
Yeah.
For the break. For her.
You don't have a microphone though, so you might need to project. Oh, you're under that, okay.
Okay.
Challenge your project.
So while reviewing our current programming for summer camp, and comparing to other local camps, we have seen that our camp is very, very below what it should be. So the recommendation that I am making is to bring it up. Currently it's 500 for the 5 weeks. And wanted to bring it up to 650 for our residents, 700 for non-residents. With that, as I stated in my memo to you, one minimum wage has gone up from $15 to $16 per hour. Rates have not changed since 2023.
Mhm.
Also in that, really since COVID, a lot of field trips have not been taking place. And previously those were all extra, so everyone had to pay for those individually. Some students did not partake. Part of this would be, it would all be inclusive, so it would be one cost for all of our campers for all of the field trips. And we're also going to increase our hours, adding an additional hour, so it will be 8:30 to 3:30. So our working family
Yeah.
can have better coverage of their day. That was feedback we've been receiving over numerous years. The 9 to 12 was really tough, but an additional hour we greatly appreciated. So looking at most other camps are about $250 a week. Many camps do different things, but that would be a very large jump for our residents. Looking at neighboring town, Hopkinton, they just posted theirs. It's $300 a week.
Oh,
for
wow.
our residents. Yeah. So would like to increase ours to $130 a week, $650 for our residents. For early bird registration, regular registration would be $140. For those with multiple children, we would do the same that we have done in the past for the discount rates
Okay.
and those as well.
What have you done in the past? I don't remember. Like-
So in the past, that's a great question. Let me see.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I don't have that written down, I'm sorry.
It's
But I
okay.
can't find that for you, but it is like a tiered reduction for 2 free.
Yeah.
children.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, any questions from
No.
council?
I mean,
Yeah.
I would support it, especially since we expanded our financial assistance funding as well. So folks who need it, can't afford it, can still get it. So I think that's, makes sense the increases make sense.
All right, do we need a motion to approve this?
Make a motion to approve the proposed new summer camp tuition pricing as outlined by the recreation director.
Second, any further discussion? Let's go for our vote. Counselor Mandic,
Yes.
Palmigano,
Yes.
Reynolds.
Yes.
And myself, yes.
Thank you.
Awesome. Did you guys want a break? Need a break? Should we keep going? It's up to council. All right, onto the capital improve. I didn't hear a motion, so we're going on the capital improvement plan. Where's my one with my tabs? Here's my one with my tabs. I have a handful of questions. This one I don't really know. We want to go through it line by line or just kind of ask
I
questions?
think we should just go through.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
In order.
Get a
Hopefully
flavor
we
for what you
can
guys are
get
looking
right over
for.
some and
Top list, we have the comp plan. Any questions on that one? All right, Wyoming design guidelines. We're asking for $15,000 this year.
If I may speak to
Yeah,
that.
sure.
So this is one of the things, as our representative from the planning board, Phil Demesis, who's the chair of the planning board, who's part of the Richmond Task Force. We had a conversation about the importance of having the design guidelines as part of our renovation hopes for the Wyoming area. In order to get ahead of that, we need to have design guidelines, which has been on the docket for the planning board for a long time. One of the problems they've had is that revenue item to do that 15,000 is continually removed from the budget. So we need to have the $50,000 in the budget to allow them to do that, so that when we do have that development, it can have in accordance with the design guidelines that we are suggesting. Natalia, have I stopped that? Have I said
That
that
was very
correctly?
fast. I'm impressed.
Trying to get it out like a brief.
Mhm.
Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, this has gotten removed a few times, year after year.
What's the $15,000 gonna pay for?
As I'm Tyler, you want to speak? As I understand it, it is the
Or a
working with
consultant or
consultant,
someone?
yeah, to do the design guidelines, yes.
That is correct.
All right, next we have the hazard mitigation plan, $6,000 this year. I think that's one that we don't really get choice of, we just need to keep saving for it.
If you want to be able to seek reimbursement for things as a result of a natural disaster, then you will need to have a hazard mitigation plan that is approved. So we will need to update it imminently.
It's different.
And so we need to have funding to be able to actually retain someone to assist us in the revision of the hazard mitigation plan.
Nice, all right. No questions there. The infrastructure study, which is in a different order in our sheets, our overviews of it, but it's in a different order. That's why I skipped
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry to confuse everybody. I'll try to go by the sheets.
what
Oh,
number is
sheet.
it?
They're not numbered.
Oh, you're not looking.
Oh, no, they're
Page-
15, yeah, so page,
14.
yeah, they are numbered, I guess. I'll go page 14.
Okay.
All right,
This is state funded, right? The
Yes.
infrastructure study.
Yes.
100% by the state of Rhode Island. Thank you, state of Rhode Island. We touched on the hazard mitigation, which is 15. IT replacement, $10,000 request this year. This is page 17. Questions there? Sure, go ahead.
So it says, and again, a lot of these descriptions I know are old, and one suggestion going forward is that we eliminate a lot of this old language that doesn't apply anymore. So are we planning to do the replacement this year? Fiscal year 27?
So that is built in over
Ongoing.
time,
Yeah.
like not a complete overhaul. But
One laptop is $800. Actually, it's more now for one laptop. So it's just those type of things. It's not like a big,
Right, but we've got right now, we've got $65,000 allocated for this. What's the projected cost? I know it's on here, it says 105, but is that
it was just,
accurate?
no, it was just an ongoing amount.
Ongoing
It wasn't
savings.
for any particular,
So
we don't
That's
have to
projected,
fund it
yeah.
this year. Yeah.
have we spent,
We have
other than- I
65.
mean, what,
Over the years, we have, yes. But we do have 65 in there now.
right, which at $800 or whatever a pop.
Yeah, that's just the laptop.
Yeah.
So this is one we could potentially remove.
I'll make a motion to remove the $10,000 funding for IT equipment this year from the capital improvement.
Second.
Any council questions or discussion? Sure, Jim?
Just a discussion that, especially on this equipment procurement. I don't know if we're doing this, but we should be following the same process that we do with the Tri-Town approach in our procurement of equipment moving forward. We could have economies of scale to get a much better price than that for our laptops. Just a suggestion that should be on that
Yeah.
topic for that.
yeah, I just don't, some of our procurement comes for our current IT vendor.
Mhm.
So contractually, I have to look and see if we're able to
IT
do that.
vendors should be on the docket too. I mean, they could supply for all three towns. Look at that. Amazing.
When our contract's back.
Yeah, absolutely. Understood. You can't just rewrite it now.
All right, we do. Any other discussion? No, all right, we'll go for our vote. Counselor Madnick,
Yes.
Palmigano,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
and myself, yes. All right. Still in IT. I'm working off like 2 spreadsheets now. IT.
18.
18.
18. They're requesting 25,000 for tax software. Oh, this is for the water billing.
Every year this gets pushed off and pushed off and pushed off. And our IT is terrible. We need to upgrade, and we just found out today they're sending us. We thought we could do it for free because our computer is so old, the program for the water reads, but now he said, no, it's too old, so now we have to pay for the new program.
How much are we paying for the new program?
We don't know yet,
Oh, okay.
so. This is just.
So we're gonna have
a
a
hard,
fee regardless, so.
yeah.
Yeah.
You need to
Yeah,
There's less than that.
I'm sure. I hope it's not a $25,000 a year fee.
Not a year.
Not a year.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, if it's a program, would it be an annual fee, or you don't know at all what it would be?
Usually
Yeah.
there is an annual fee like the rest of our programs.
Subscription.
do,
Yeah.
But we don't know yet.
All right, so what's the council want to do with this one? See how it goes with that fee, or
I think we keep.
push it off another year?
No, I think we keep it.
Keep it, and the only thing that we could ask Danielle is when you get that figure to maybe make it
He's supposed to be
reflect,
sending them soon. We
reflect it.
spoke today.
Yeah, just make a note so we remember.
Awesome. All right, on to the police live scan.
This is the lease that we're locked into, right?
Yes, actually reasonable pricing, it's fixed and it's, it intercommunicates with, both the Rhode Island Attorney General's office, BCI, and, FBI, regular employment backgrounds and criminal backgrounds.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right, on to page 21, we have police vehicle replacement, 3 vehicles every 2 years.
That's what it used to be.
That's what it says here.
Yeah, we probably clean that language up, the cost of cars has gone up. So subtract that amount, 60,000 from that amount, and that's what you have left over for a car. The car is 40,000 and the equipment upfit is about 18 and change, almost 20.
All right. We have 48 going towards that this year. I don't see any questions or concerns. Building renovations. Again, on the police department. You're gonna be in the hot seat for a minute. We have 30,000 going here this year.
I think this is part of that 5-year plan for renovating the first floor, moving the
Yeah.
cells towards the Sally Port.
Yep. New conference room.
Doing it incrementally, so there's no sticker shock.
All right. You know, council questions, we'll go right to the next one. Radio backup, $20,000 this year. Backup radios.
This is, it also goes towards the 800 megahertz system,
Hmm.
which we are finally going to be joining as our primary, eventually, once we have this tower up and above the vegetation. Right now, we're on VHF. We're the only police department in the entire area that has VHF for its primary. Quality is not as good, and we have to carry a radio that has 2 on, it has 800, and that was an excellent purchase through ARPA. Was the 8000 APX that we have, Motorola. Sorry, it sounds techie, but this radio basically can monitor 800 and VHF, which the old radios, you had to carry 2 big bulky things. One is going to get left in the car, and you're not hearing everything, monitoring your surrounding mutual aid partners. So this would be going towards mobile radios in the cruisers that are 800, versus VHF we have right now. Portables are our only means of communicating with 800 when you're on the road.
So these are cruiser radios
Cruiser
at
radios.
800 megahertz.
Awesome.
Digital, right?
Yes, yeah.
So you can't hear it on your scanner. What Robin's frowning.
You have to wait for a council meeting.
You know, like scanner person.
All right, new septic for the police as well, $5,000 this year. Sounds reasonable. All right,
Yes, again, we're trying to invest for when that system fails, or we replace it before it fails.
Yeah.
That is the original system.
you said 88, right?
Yeah. 88. And when we did repaving on that lot, there was some work that DPW jumped in to rescue us, put a new steel plate up it because it was starting to cave where that manhole is above the septic. So it's structurally sound right now, but I just don't know how long it's gonna last. It really needs to be replaced.
Awesome. DPW replacement, we talked about this a little bit earlier, $100,000 this year. Oh, this is page 28. Any,
We just jumped
Yeah.
around. Did you?
what's that?
Did you jump around?
No, I've been going in order.
Page by page.
Well, I might have skipped something if it's a zero, like, oh, the ACO vehicle update, I skipped that. She's not asking for anything this year, so.
Yeah, because of that number, is that correct?
$23.
20, that's what's left.
All right.
She
thank
just
you.
got,
Yeah. Same
Thank
thing.
you.
that's what's left.
It's a great number.
Yeah, thank you.
So I am jumping around. Sure, go ahead, Council Manic.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to remove $100,000 from the DPW equipment replacement capital improvement.
Second.
Second for discussion, but weren't we waiting to see what the cost would be? Wasn't he gonna figure more about that? No?
Look at, give us an estimate to increase the maintenance line item.
Right. Would we want to see that before we slash? No, all right.
We can always put that in.
Okay, that's true. Go ahead. Okay.
Oh, I just have a question on this one, Gary. So this says street sweeper 225 with $100,000 trade-in. So is 225 gonna be the cost to us, or is it gonna be 125?
That's, right now, that probably sweepers up to 300 and some thousand right now.
All right,
And that's why this hasn't happened yet, because we haven't got the trade-in value back for it. That was supposed to go with the leftover towards 4 dumpsters. And there was a couple other little things on there I remember.
so let me ask this question. If we took the 100 out this year, which is what Councilor Madnick has proposed, you would have $629,000 to spend. What would you spend it on?
Well, we do have loaders due 26, 27. That's like 330, 320. If I'm not mistaken.
So you could do the loader,
Yeah.
you could do the hot box.
For sure.
Yeah, oh, that's, we really, everybody has one of them and it's time.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
Yep.
get to 629. Service, what's, it says service truck with bucket. What's that?
Struck with bucket.
That's what it says here. I don't know what that means.
Is that an old
I'm
one?
assuming it's not a 5-gallon bucket.
No.
Well,
You know, a
tree budget.
tree truck,
but
tree
no.
truck.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's.
Yeah, that's what they were expressing one time, but
Or
I'm
lift.
not worried about the bucket so much right now, but just the service truck she's getting tired.
All right, so we don't need a bucket. So what do you think the cost of that would be? Tomorrow, next week?
6 months from
Yeah.
now.
I'll just throw a rough estimate out there, but next one around, I'll have a good price on that.
All right.
I'd say it'd probably be close to a good 150, 150, somewhere in that area.
So what, I mean, I'm just looking at this, if you have $629,000. You could do the sweeper. Right? For 350 you said, 375?
He was, you know what, I'm gonna talk, he was just at the garage today, we were talking about it.
And
I'll get you exact figures for the next.
you could do, I'm just, I guess the question is, if we take out the 100,000 and you only have 629 to spend, and I'm not suggesting you have to spend it all because you want to build for future years. Can you get what you need to keep things going? That's the question. And you can decide what you want to use it for, whether you use it for the sweeper, you try to limp it through another year and duct tape it together, but it sounds like you can get a lot of what's on this list done without that 100, or maybe we just take part of it.
We need it all, but I mean, I
I know you-
understand, I understand times, but
Yeah. All right.
but maybe, I think we can get by another year, not getting into the sweeper. I mean, probably get a few more years, but then for sure, we'll be putting a lot. Like I said, there's nothing cheap to fix that. The littlest things are very expensive.
Yeah,
but
right.
We get by, we definitely need a new loader. That is,
Okay, so that's a definite.
gotta have that.
Load is a definite.
And
So
the
that's
hot
three,
box.
that's 320. Hot box is 20. So let's say it's 350 with those two together.
And to go with a diesel, which we'd probably do where we have the diesel at shop, so that'd probably go up to more closer to 30, because why run the propane? That's gonna be, because we got the diesel right at the garage, running diesel.
Yep, okay.
We're just gonna try to make it work, stuff here,
All right.
stuff.
Got our
Like I
motion.
said, I'm worried with this, I mean, like you said, we gotta keep that sweeper in mind down the road.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
We do our motion, our second. Any further discussion? All right, we'll go for our vote. Counselor Madnick.
Yes.
O'Shannell.
Yes.
Reynolds.
I'll say yes, subject to knowing what it's gonna cost to
And I'm a yes.
repair the street sweeper. Again, if it's gonna cost us $100,000 more to maintain it, why are we doing that,
Right. So we're gonna bring that information back at the next
Yeah,
time, but for now it's
yeah,
out, because that's what I had asked as well.
Yeah.
Next one is not asking for anything. DPW road repairs, MRP 50,000. Are the culverts and the streets listed here accurate, or are they different streets this year?
Which page?
Oh, I'm sorry,
30.
30.
30.
It is the same, we're still going with the culvert repairs.
Mhm.
With, is it Chris Fox?
Yep.
Yeah.
However, it's the same,
So
the same ones. We're still waiting.
what's the estimated cost of project? I know some of it we're getting funding
Yeah,
through the
he didn't-
infrastructure
He's gonna
ban.
come back for us, right, Ty?
He didn't
That's
give us a
preliminary and DM.
solid amount.
So it's different culverts.
Yeah.
Than the Hillsdale culvert. So the Hillsdale culvert project is separate from the Pine Hill and Carolina culvert, which are part of the municipal resilience program. There's a different funding source for the Hillsdale culvert. We are at a point now where we are, and I say we, but really the bus is being driven by the Woodpawtuck Watershed Association because they've retained Fuss and O'Neill, who's the body that's been putting together the plans. So they are poised and have submitted to DEM their plan, but the plan has not yet been approved by DEM. I don't know when that will take place. That's DEM's purview. So I really can't give you an estimate on that, but that's a separate project. So that would not even be under this particular item.
That's Hillsdale that you're talking about.
Yep,
All right, so what about Pine Hill and Carolina Newsnack?
working on it. I don't have a specific number for you.
All right, I make a motion to eliminate the $50,000 from the road repairs MRP project.
Second.
Another one I'm not looking forward to, but next year we can start saving
I just-
for it again. We gotta do what we gotta do.
You've got $319,000 in the account
And we don't know how much it costs.
and it's not gonna get spent this year
I hear you.
because we're still working on it. So,
All right.
I
We
would
take it out.
just say that that might be the match for the MRP. I'd have to double check.
Okay.
I wasn't particularly prepared to opine on this particular item this evening.
Well,
Okay.
there's already 319,000 that can be applied toward a match, but we've already accumulated, so.
Right.
And much of that was delayed with the federal funding shutdown, so I don't anticipate that.
You can let it go.
I would just want to know definitively before you vote to eliminate it,
No, what?
But
What was your
have
question?
if that's the match.
Oh, yeah, that's the match.
We could always put it back if you came back to us next time, so we could strike it now. And then you could say, hey, look, you gotta put that back.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we'll go for a vote. Counselor Madnick.
Yes.
Yeah,
O'Connor, Reynolds,
Yes,
and myself, yes. Landfill cap. $25,000 a year to eventually get to 1 million.
we're never gonna get there.
It's really hard.
Oh my God, 223,000. Only 1 million more to go.
Can we maybe stop doing that for a while?
No.
No, okay, yeah, no, okay.
next page.
All right, on to the next one, page 32. Road funding. We eliminate this, we're gonna not have a match for road restore. We do with this year's funding, we'll have 525, 812.
I just have a question. So what would the plan be with this funding? Is this gonna be Wilbur Hill or is that Wilbur Hill coming out of the current year budget?
Wilbur Hill offset of road restore, which we already know is 474 for the bid for Wilbur Hill. The match of road restore.
It was 455,
455.
and then we need about 100,000 for tree work and drainage.
Once we have those final numbers, I'm waiting for this economy to, obviously the volatile oil and diesel to go out to bid to discuss what we previously allocated for Pine Hill and Old Mountain. And at that time, I think we would have to have a conversation again about, are we gonna reallocate that based after this winter's conditions? But those were Pine Hill resurfacing, chip seal, and then the section of Old Mountain was next.
So I just want to have it clear in my head.
Yeah.
Wilbur Hill is going to come out of this year's,
Yes. Yep,
not
this year's.
the
This-
current fiscal year.
Yes.
Yes, we're doing it
26.
in the spring. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and with that, we'll still have this amount, 525, if we do the 300.
After Wilbur Hill, no, after Wilbur Hill, we'll have 225,
Okay,
812.
okay,
And then that's what's left to go into the 26, 27 year. And then whatever we put in here will be what we have. So if you keep the 300, then we'll have 525.
okay.
And then DOT should reimburse us 183, depending on how much Wilbur Hill costs.
And maybe we'll get more in this next cycle, cause
Yeah.
3 more million was put in the governor's
Yeah.
budget for road restore.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
All right. So again, just. So of this 525, it's good, some of that's gonna pay for Wilbur Hill.
That's
Okay,
okay.
that was my
Wilbur Hill.
question.
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then yes. The
Thank-
answer is yes.
Thank you.
If that was all you wanted, it was yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, no other questions on 32. 33, DPW building improvements. What do we got here? 14,008 questions or concerns here? All right, admin, we got nothing there. A new project scale. We have a couple new DPW projects here.
So.
Yeah.
Is Cody still here?
He is.
So the sensors on the scales,
Oh, we got a picture coming up. Oh, no, we don't.
have been quite expensive to replace. And so we want to make sure we're maintaining not only our garbage scale, but the major onboarding scale. We currently don't own any of our dumpsters besides a few that we purchased. And with Rambone's contract coming up, we need some roll-off containers with covers so that we don't get hit with some of these moisture hits. So that is built in. We're starting to build up our transfer station as well as the building improvements for the transfer station. So that's the scale house, be able to house IT equipment, to have the computer program software over there. We're looking at different options on renovating that. So those are the big projects for this.
All right.
The scale's the truck scale, right? That's what we're talking about, not
Is
the
that-
small scale.
Small
Yeah.
scale is already replaced, so yeah.
Yeah.
Truck scale.
Just did that.
And having some problems, so if we have some problems, was off.
Yep, okay.
All right. Any other questions on the other projects we have here? All right. We'll go through the Parks and Rec. 40. Oh, they got nothing on that page. 41, nothing. I'm on a different page than my notes, so sorry. 42, nothing. 43, nothing. 44, 45. We're jumping to 47, which is land trust, asking for 15,000 for continually increased public access and safety on land trust managed lands. Any questions here? If there's a priority to Old Mountain Trail project they got going on there. All right, seeing no questions, we will then. Where'd it go? All right. 48. Oh, here we are, 49 Heritage Trail project. This one we funded last year and it does not need to be funded again this year. So we can remove this. The 42, 555, 550.
I think it was staged, but. That's the gym church.
That was.
I did reach out to him,
Okay.
just because we're friendly. I didn't want to
Yep.
remove something without telling him.
Yep.
And he confirmed that they didn't need it again this year because they have it from last year. It's still left there.
Excellent.
He did request $5,000 for another grant match that they're looking into. I don't have more details on that though. But seeing that they have a lot here already, it may not be necessary. So make a motion to remove the 40,550.
Second.
All right, seeing no further discussion, we'll go for our vote. Counselor Madnick,
Yes.
Palmigano,
Yes.
Reynolds.
Yes.
And myself, yes. 000. Sorry, now I'm just breezing through, I think. All right, now we're at 55, water tank.
Yeah, who wants to touch that one?
Well, a lot of the water tank
Yes.
projects are paid by water customers, correct?
Yes. So received very good news today that Seth Magziner's office is prioritizing his congressional funding for our water tank mixers, the amount of $1,008,000.
Yay!
So we are working really closely with RIB financing to offset our cost share on that and our matches. And so some of these things right now at this point, I don't want to reduce it all in
Oh.
case,
Prior year funding is negative, so.
right?
What
So, but some of it was offset with ARPA.
Right.
And so we can take a look at that, but.
Great.
Yep, so hopefully a large amount of all of these projects will come off if we get the match with RIB finance and the loan forgiveness we talked about, but that was very good news.
Yeah, that's great news.
Yeah.
We also have water meter replacement. The
Yes.
56, and then I think that's the end of the capital improvement plan.
So we need to really start replacing our water meters. We will need to have a full water report with water rates and what we're doing with our customers that have refused to upgrade the meters we have now. So we'll be having an ordinance amendment coming shortly because they're estimated. Is that correct, Danielle? The ones that don't read?
Yes.
And so we actually met yesterday
Yes.
with the water meter company, and they provided a couple different options on our meters that's going to help hopefully reduce the costs of our water operator and our finance department with replacing some of those. So this water meter project is a good starting off point and match on some of those functions because we are way behind. They can read meters from far away, so that
Awesome.
will help cut down on those.
Good stuff for our water department in a lot of different fronts here.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at the end, I believe. Any other like general questions? Sure, go ahead, Mark.
The question relates to, we're using some of the fund balance.
Mhm.
And the way we would be at 15.7 or what is it currently? I just don't know if we want to consider using a little bit more to help offset some of these issues. Bring it down to 15 and a half, maybe.
This one says we're at 15.98. That's a current one.
Maybe just a request that when Danielle does that, she could do a percentage as, if you want to guide her on that, to say, calculate it based on this, this, and this, and we can take a look at it.
Yeah, so what would that do with cash flow, Danielle, if we were at 15 and a half?
Well, it would make it less, but.
A bad question.
Yeah,
Would cash flow become critical at 15 and a half? To the point where you couldn't meet your obligations as they came due?
it's hard to say. Like, we had a bad quarter for the second quarter for collections. Like, we were super low. now we finally recouped, but it was pretty low. And I don't really know why. So it's hard to say when they're gonna.
But that wasn't, but that, just to be clear, that's a timing issue.
That is a-
People were just,
People were just.
people were
yeah,
late.
Not paying, yeah. So, but I don't know if that's gonna continue with the economy,
right.
you know, so it's hard to say
Yeah, okay.
if it's.
All right, well, I would ask, I'd make a motion to ask the finance director to calculate, the budget, bringing the fund balance to 15.5%.
Second it. Any further council questions or discussion? All right, we'll go for a vote. Madnick?
Yes.
Yes.
Reynolds?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Anybody have anything else they wanna throw out? Thank you to our department heads for joining us. I think this was healthy. Good to have you all here while we had these questions. When are we gonna get all this information back? Would that be for the public hearing, or should we talk about other opportunities to meet and discuss it? Because typically council has 2 budget workshops, and we did not this year because of the snowstorm delaying finance board, et cetera. So I know we don't typically do social meetings, get in touch with them, but I don't know if it'd be something we'd want to consider, so that way we have a more solidified budget prepared for a public hearing.
It would be quicker because we would just be receiving the information back we requested and be able to make any additional changes.
Right, it will be much quicker than this evening.
Hesitant to do, I think it makes sense to not do anything for April 7th. Because we're gonna have more potentials on the table.
We can talk about it offline too. We can schedule meetings
Yeah.
via email. So why don't we do that?
Let's do that.
Okay. We'll sleep on it.
I think that makes sense, but let's talk about schedule instead of taking the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. On to the next item. What's that?
Do we still need them here or?
I think we can dismiss our department heads if an administrator's
Oh, they
okay
want
with
to
it.
stay. They
No,
want-
Do we still need? I mean, we need you always, you know what I mean?
Unfortunately, you've got an item for public hearing.
oh, yeah.
Evening. Yep, Chief's still got a report. Robin's got a report, yeah.
So Gary can go, Josh can go. Kate can go. Jay can go.
I'll make changes for the.
That goes to League of Nations.
Sure, you
that
wanna-
kind of-
I'm on there as well, so we can do it all in one.
Dave, pass on it.
How you have a good night?
All right, I'll second it. Oh,
Thank you for all your sharing.
Yes.
Reynolds is a yes, and I'm a yes as well.
Thank
Thank you, good sport.
You look pale. It's very bad.
You okay? I was getting my timer for public forum too. We're ready?
Yes.
All right, motion to come back from recess. We don't have to do that? I don't know if we have to do that, but anyway, welcome back from the break where we celebrated Mr. Palmigano's birthday. Happy birthday.
It's not on the town's budget. It's donated by Councilor Reynolds.
On to, we're still in the budget workshop, but item 3. This is Erin's request. You want to give us a little information and
So just obviously, given the difficult economic climate, should the Charo Regional School District we receive more education state aid, I think it would go a long way back to town to request that they reallocate that or reduce that from the local contribution.
Motion.
sure.
Oh,
We're gonna make the motion. first.
yeah, motion to approve the town administrator to request that Charahoe Regional School District apply any additional state aid received in the FY 26-27 toward reducing the municipal local contribution.
Second. And what do you got?
I just want to make sure I understand. Basically, what we'd be able to do is apply the extra aid toward our current bill if this budget passes. Right, that's what you mean when you say reducing. That it's not reducing our overall.
Right,
We still get the same bill. We just have more state aid to apply toward it.
exactly.
No.
Take the motion roll.
No, you said it right.
No, I just wanted to
Very-
make sure I understood what it meant, reducing the municipal local contribution. That's what I wanted to make clear. Basically, we get to use it toward the bill that we're already gonna get. And I don't know that they would take a different position, but obviously we should all be on the same page. Get on that page now rather than later.
Yep, definitely. All right, we'll go for our vote. Council Palmigano.
Yes.
Reynolds.
Yes.
And myself, yes. Thank you so much. All right, now on to resolutions. We have a resolution from Vice President Reynolds. Turn it over to you.
Yep, so just quickly, this is a resolution in support of House Bill H 7446. It's a bill that Rep. Carter has introduced, and she mentioned it when she was here. And basically, just to back up a little bit, as you know, a lot of the low and moderate income housing laws have allowed developers to put high density housing in rural areas, which isn't necessarily compatible with those areas. And one of the reasons why is it can impact water supply and water quality. So what this bill would do is add that not only does the developer have to present I think it's credible evidence, competent evidence that there's water there, but they also have to present competent evidence that the capacity is sufficient to meet the needs of the development. So it would allow us to essentially, deny density bonuses for projects where the developer couldn't meet that standard of showing the not just the availability, but the capacity. So that's what the bill would do. I think it's in our best interest to be able to have as many tools as we can to make sure that, water quality is not disrupted. And so that's the resolution.
Awesome. I saw our town planner wanted to add something.
I just wanted so I mentioned this to Kendra last week, but the Senate bill is the incorrect number, so I didn't want you to vote on a resolution for an incorrect number, but you're just talking about the House bill, so disregard.
Right, but I think it's correct on the resolution because I noticed that as well. Yeah, happens.
I only know because I've been following these particular bills,
Mhm.
because that's another thing that I do.
Yeah.
And I guess the only thing I would add to the resolution, Kendra, thank you for drafting it. I just sent her a bunch of bullet points. One other thing I think we should add is that we send this resolution to Rep. Carter, the speaker, and whatever committee is considering this bill. I think it's been referred to House Municipal Government and Housing. So I would propose to add that to the resolution that's been presented.
Make that into a motion.
Oh,
You did, did he?
I-
Did we make
so
it into a
moved.
motion? So moved. All right, second, any further council discussion? I will go
Thank
further.
you for putting it together.
Yes, thank you so much. Council Parmesan.
Yes.
Reynolds.
yes.
And myself, yes. I know, you get to go
Yeah.
first now. I know. Feels ridiculous roll calling with 3 people though. What are we up to next? All right, our public hearing. We have a motion to open our public hearing for discussion and consideration of proposed amendments to the zoning ordinances.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we'll go for a vote. Palmigano.
Yes.
Reynolds.
Yes.
And myself, yes. Public hearing's open. Do we have anybody online? I didn't realize that, I guess I didn't think about a public hearing. And I hope that anybody online is still there. Or if anybody has concerns about this, or if people want to write into us later, they can.
Anyone in the audience?
No, well, no.
Can I just ask,
Yeah.
what are we amending with this?
So it's. The clean copy was what was posted. The actual original copy I had sent to Kenda previously. It's just, so under 1820.020. Right now, 1820.020B, that's the section, reads dimensional regulations for special use permits are determined by the zoning board of review unless specifically set forth elsewhere in this title. The proposed language is dimensional variances can be issued for uses permitted by special use permit. This is because now the planning board has the ability to grant special use permits when there's unified development review. So it's not just the zoning board, that's the only body that can make that kind of determination. So that's the only change that's being made to this particular section of this particular chapter of zoning ordinance.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, can we have a motion to close our public hearing?
So moved.
Second,
Before I vote, Council Palmigano.
Yes.
Reynolds.
yes.
And myself, yes. All right, I'll make a motion to approve this ordinance amendment.
Second.
For a vote, Councilor Palmigano.
Yes.
Reynolds.
Yes.
And myself, yes. On to, we skipped new hires, consent agenda. We only have 2 items here. Does anybody have any reason to vote on them separately? All right, I'll make a motion to approve our consent agenda 1 and 2.
Second,
Any council discussion? All right, we'll go for a vote. Palmigano.
Yes.
Reynolds.
yes.
And myself, yes. Public forum. Does anybody want to speak in public forum before I give my spiel? Can we? We do, all right, we usually limit it to 3 minutes, and you have 1 opportunity.
Did we already pass? I think we did it together.
I didn't know, well, I was just gonna say I'm heading out, but I didn't know if you had to make a motion to go beyond.
Oh, we did that when we did our break, but
Oh,
thank you
okay.
so much for keeping an eye on us.
I'm
It was noisy at that point.
Thank you, Tommy.
Yeah,
All right, have a good night, everybody.
you too, thank you. Yeah, we're gonna limit everybody 3 minutes in public forum.
Mr. Day, you should have permissions. Mr. Day?
You know, I don't know whether any of you people listen to your meetings after, I know it's kind of, but you know, your sound system that comes off any place but your council table has a lot to be desired.
Mhm.
I understand the technology and all this other stuff, but I think if maybe a couple of your meetings, you'd realize that the people at home half the time don't know what anyone is saying unless they're at the council table, so. You know, but the reason I wanted to buzz in here tonight was that the bridge at the town line in Hopkinton there by the ball field is going through the same upheaval that it went through this summer. I know the state come down in the middle of the night, and I believe they had the same flashlights that they used to find the problem at the bridge at the Providence River there, but that's beside the point. But I know Representative Carter is back on this again. I think this town council should take a different look at and find the state capable of getting a report of why this bridge is starting to upheave again in the same spot. This is over a river. That's something that I think most engineers would tell you is not a good thing. when you got a bridge over the river and the asphalt is upheaving. This is the second time within a year that this has started to develop, so that's my concern. I go over that bridge, numerous times during the week, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people. I know the state's attitude probably as well. We can send about Bridge Street, Arcadia, and Bank Street and stuff like that, but that's not gonna be an easy, way to solve a problem. If they're gonna let this bridge continue to, do whatever it's doing. I don't know what it's gonna do, and I can't, even guess, but, it's not normal. Anybody that knows anything about any kind of construction would tell you that's not normal, but the state come down there in the middle of the night here last summer and looked at it in the dark and put a little asphalt on there, and now that asphalt is, upheaving again. So thank you for listening to me.
Yeah, thank you for coming to talk to us.
Thank you, Mr. Dick.
All right,
Can
anybody
I
else?
ask a question on that? Just not to have a
Yeah.
discussion, but to the administrator, what recourse would we take to have request someone on a future agenda? Is it someone to come and talk with us? How do we animate that request to go and check it out?
It's a DOT right away and.
I'll
if-
reach out to
yeah.
DOT. I'll ask a supervisor what, if anything, they've done and what they plan to do. I think it's the southbound lane of Main Street or Route 3.
Okay, so maybe perhaps in your next report, if you have an update on that?
Yeah.
For next, that'd be great. Thank you.
I'm gonna call Rhode Island Energy first, but I will.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do we have anybody else online? All right. On to reports. Chief Johnson, you're up.
Good evening, folks. I'll be brief, but I would be remiss if I did not point out the actions of Lieutenant John Arnold. He's the longest ever serving Richmond police officer. Just celebrated 31 years on the force. And anybody that's worked with him or that knows him, even personally, will tell you he's a great human being, very selfless, and he's got a self-deprecating sense of humor, and he does not like attention. But on March 13th, I think it was Friday, we were gathering over at the elementary school as we normally do to assist with traffic. And it was around 8:29. He overheard a westerly dispatch or a rescue call in the northern part of town off of Hillsdale Road, it's quite a distance. He was out proactively on patrol, and it was a heart attack suffered by a 39-year-old male. And as you know, if you are not there within 5-10 minutes, and there's no one else rendering aid, it's very difficult to bring that person back. He ended up calling out to the house 3 minutes after that call came in, and immediately began the CPR with the wife of the fallen victim nearby and understandably emotional, distraught. So he's trying to maintain that scene while he's performing CPR. And anybody that's ever done CPR, chest compressions, it is exhausting. You do that for a minute and a half, you are wiped. He did that for probably 8 to 9 minutes before a second unit arrived, and it was, I believe, somebody from the Carolina Fire Department. That part I have to look into, but it was somebody with EMT background that then took over chest compressions, and they kind of alternated. But the subject was transported to Kent County Hospital after they had kind of regained circulation, and he just called out and said, I'm transporting the person's wife to the hospital. He went to Kent with her, try to keep her calm. And then he returned back to the station like he had just ordered a coffee. And I don't mean to make it sound like he dismissed what he had done. He just does not like attention. But, and they, you always wonder what happened to the person that you assisted when they leave your custody or care and they go on to the hospital or elsewhere. So I just thought this was great. I wanted to share this. Literally on March 19th, it was just 6 days after that, the gentleman that he revived emailed me. So I'll read it without identifying who this person is. Hi, just reviewing my home videos now, piecing together the last few days. You guys were first responders to my house at the address twice in 3 days. You saved my wife and then me within 3 days of each other. Up in Mass General, doing much better. Thank you for all that you do. All the best. So I forwarded that to Lieutenant Arnold and I just said, listen, there's no way of playing this down. You saved this guy's life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You rendered CPR chest compressions for virtually 8 to 10 minutes. And then rescue showed up with apparatus that assist them, stabilized them and took them to Kent County. Without John being there, I don't believe this guy would be alive. So he'll be recognized at a future time.
Good.
He hates it. but
Yeah.
We're gonna recognize him anyways.
Yeah.
I'll have to tell him it's for something else, for somebody else. But it's just a credit to that police department, that individual in particular, 31 years with the town, and he's still going to calls like that and putting himself in harm's way.
Yeah. Great work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
On to our recreation director's report.
Thank you. So I'm looking for approval for really Erin, correct, to sign a commitment with Rhode Island US Tennis Association of New England. They have contacted us to do a program that they call Tennis in the Parks. So I've reached out to Charahoe School to secure the tennis courts over there. We'll be offering lessons to students, grades 1 to 2, 3 to 5, and 6 to 8 in different time blocks. It will go for 6 weeks. All students will receive a ball and a racket. And yes, bless you.
I did echo.
They will provide the certified instructor, so it's an actual tennis instructor. They will actually run the registrations for us so that everyone would register on their website. And then we are charging a little bit over what the cost is. So we will receive a little bit of a revenue from that. So just looking for approval. It's going to be $80 for 6 weeks. Again, they receive a ball and a racket.
Nice.
And an instructor for 1-hour lessons on Saturday mornings. Do you want to join?
I took tennis lessons when I was super young,
Nice.
Awesome.
and I don't play it anymore. Can you understand why?
That was great.
Yes, I think it will be a wonderful addition to our recreation activities.
I'll make a motion.
Yes.
I'll make a motion for the town administrator to sign the memorandum of understanding on behalf of the recreation director between USTA New England Inc. and the town of Richmond Recreation with authorization for the town, well, to sign.
Administrator to sign. Second. Any council discussion? We'll go for our vote. Counselor Palmigano.
Yes.
Reynolds.
Yes.
And myself, yes. Thank you both so much for your reports.
Yeah, thank you.
On to,
Staying so late.
yeah. Not that bad. Communications petitions. Anybody have anything they'd like to pull?
Motion to file.
Second,
All right. Go for a vote. Palmigano.
yes.
Reynolds.
Yes.
And myself, yes. Make a motion to enter executive session pursuant to 42-46(5)(a)(2) pending litigation.
Second.
Go for a vote. Counselor Palmigano.
Yes.
Reynolds.
Yes.
And myself, yes.
Good session.
Me?
All right, can we have a motion to exit executive session?
So moved.
Second.
All right, roll for a vote. Palmigano.
Yes.
Reynolds.
Yes.
And myself, yes. Motion to seal the executive session minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All right, Palmigano.
Yes.
Reynolds.
Yes.
And myself, yes. There were no votes taken in executive session this evening. Can we please have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Palmigano.